I better start recording. You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com. That's PJ4F.com, the #1 podcast in Raider Nation. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode brought to you by Creative Media Design Studio. Check them out at CreativeMediaMonterey.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. That intro's freaking loud, Che. It's loud, bro.
It's good, bro. It's good.
It gets louder every week.
We need to wake up, bro.
Let's
wake up.
Let's start this podcast off right with a brand new segment called Chelas with Che. Con Che.
Conche.
That's a complicated can. That took you like 3 opens to get into that.
Hey, that's quality beer, bro.
What are we drinking?
That ain't no fucking Bud Light, bro. Okay.
Although Cleveland got a bunch of free Bud Lights this week.
They did. Man.
That is like that's a thing. Like that's Bud Light's free anyways, ain't it? I'm right? I mean,
They charge you the same amount for like a 6-pack for their 30 packs?
it's literally it's like 75 cents a can, less than.
Hell, how come fucking Bud Light's cheaper than water, bro?
How come Raider Bud Light cans are blue this year?
This is bullshit.
It's some serious bullshit.
What happened to the black can? Let's write in Bud Light. Let's send in a letter to them
I think we should.
expressing our anger.
Maybe we can get the pillagers on this.
Yeah,
I'm thinking petition.
that's a great idea.
But what are we drinking?
We're drinking Firestone.
We are drinking Firestone.
We're drinking Firestone. You got that lager over there.
I got the lager.
As you put on Twitter, I decided I'm bringing a motherfucking variety pack because we got to drown our sorrows today.
Yeah.
We got to drown our sorrows. So you got that lager. I got that Nitro DBA.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
And I just finished the Nitro DBA.
Yeah, you did.
This is my 3rd lager.
That's the 3rd lager. That's the 3rd cerveza
This is 4th can.
for Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna get it in today. We're gonna get it in today.
You're going to learn today.
You about to learn today. All right. No, we're having chelos with Che. And as long as we keep up with this shitty season, it's gonna be a little bit more of this.
Mas chelas.
Mas chelas with Che.
Conche. So, describe this DBA because it's a nitro, which means it's very creamy.
Yeah, it caught us off guard, right? Because we didn't even expect it to be a nitro. I've had the regular DBA.
Yeah.
And apparently you wanna pour this bad boy, but you know what? I'm going hardcore. It's coming out the can. You wanna invert this can a few times.
Okay.
Then you wanna pour this bitch into a glass
Biash.
real hard.
Real hard.
And you wanna let that overflow, and then you wanna enjoy it.
Okay.
But this shit's coming right out the can, right? And it's tasting real good to me.
Just cut the shit, open the can, and drink it. Yo, cut it. We're back in the crow's nest, getting out there on location, and you were missed greatly.
Thank you, bro. I miss you guys too, man.
Getting out there was great, man. Meeting Raider Nation face to face in another state was cool. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work.
Yep.
But Che, it feels good to be home this week.
Yeah, man. It feels good to be back in the crow's nest. Obviously, we love being at the tailgate, right? There's nothing like it.
Nothing.
But being in the crow's nest, doing our thing, this is where we're at our best, bro. Let's be honest.
I feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, sound quality's best.
Hell yeah.
We get to live stream.
That's right.
We get to connect with you live.
That's right.
And yeah, we're right here.
Hell yeah.
And since I'm a control freak, this is perfect. This is perfect for me.
It's a little bit. Just a little bit, bro. But that's all right. You're perfectionist. You want only the best going out to the listeners.
Which is why I drank 4 beers before I got on the air today.
That's right, because you wanted to bring the best, bro.
The base. The base.
The best.
That's right. Lots to talk about here coming off of week 3. This is the point of the season where teams begin finding their groove and revealing their true identity. I wrote this 2 days ago.
Son of a bitch. Come on, man.
But ask anyone who plays the line or fantasy football week 1 and 2. It's a bit hit or miss.
Yeah.
But here we are now.
It's trure.
The first quarter of the season, nearly over.
Almost.
And we're Owen Wilson? No.
Owen Wilson.
0-3. We're 0-3.
God damn.
God damn it, anyways.
We're on 3, bro.
We're 0-3. I had us at 1-1 going into this game. You had us at 1-1 going into this game.
That's right. We had alternating thoughts on that, right? I had us winning the first, losing the second. You had us losing the first, winning the second. And what the fuck do you know? We have fucking 3 straight losses.
3 straight losses. Is Gruden in the hot seat right now?
I mean, with the fans, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so. With the fans, yeah. I mean, come on, bro. We've been on Twitter.
Yeah.
You see what it looks like out there. I talked about it last week on the ladies, the Just Win Ladies podcast about
episode.
everybody fucking, losing their minds. But listen. We're a few fucking plays from everybody fucking being on this boat.
Marshawn Lynch said so.
Yeah. We're a few fucking plays from everybody speaking a whole different fucking perspective, bro.
Yeah.
That's just facts, right?
Facts.
That's just motherfucking facts. You can hit the facts button, bro.
It's what?
Facts.
It's what?
It's motherfucking facts.
Facts.
That's what it is. But listen, man, we ain't making those plays, and that's the fucking problem, right?
Yes.
When it comes down to it, we got a goose egg in the fourth quarter in 3 games, and all those plays that we've seen Derek Carr make and others on our team make in the past, they're just not happening. So I'm not going to fault the fan base. I'm not going to fault the Raider Nation for feeling the way that they're feeling, because this is shitty, to say the least.
It's a disgrace.
It's
an absolute travesty. But you guys know you've depended on the Pillaging Podcast to come in here and steady the ship and not go overboard. Mm-hmm. I'm out of nautical themes at this point, but I'm going to move forward. I digress. We're going to stay neutral. I mean, okay, we're going to stay neutral.
We're not going to lose our fucking minds. That's what you're trying to say.
We're not losing our minds.
Hell no.
You could definitely see an improvement in this team.
You're right.
It's just we're not closing the games out.
Listen, we were talking about this before we went on air, and we were talking about, all the bitching, all the complaining, and for good reason, man. I'm not even gonna hate on you guys that are coming down on this team, and you have your complaints, and you're fucking just coming down on this coaching staff. You have every reason to, because there's nothing positive with our season to this point. But the bottom line is that if you can really honestly tell me that if you look at the play calling of this season and compare it to last season's play calling, the creativity, the fucking calls on different downs, if you can really honestly say that we're worse off than we fucking were last year, you're insane. You're on fucking crack, and you're smoking some good stuff, because that's not the case. That's not the case. Gruden's putting us in the position to fucking win. We're just not doing it. We're just not doing it.
We were 2-1 at this time last year.
This is true.
But we're put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Because also on tonight's show, former Raiders director of scouting,
Oh, yeah.
Raiders executive,
Yeah.
John Kingdon, will join us in this first hour. And I better sober up before that happens.
Oh, we got some good questions for him, bro.
Just another reminder. We're just going to get through this intro real quick. We got a lot to get into. Just a reminder, the new edition Pillaging Tees are on sale at creativemediamonterey.com.
Yep.
Don't go to pj4f.com and click on the NFLshop.com banner and buy a Derek Carr t-shirt and call the hotline and tell me that you got a used t-shirt, because I don't sell those t-shirts. Much respect to you, Chris. You called in. You try to make a return. That's not my t-shirt, dog.
That's not.
But I appreciate you.
I don't know who sent you that t-shirt, dog.
NFLshop.com officially on blast right now. Big blast.
Why are you buying a fucking t-shirt with Derek Carr's name on it? Why ain't you buying a jersey?
Right.
That's my question.
I stopped buying those jersey t-shirts
Yeah. When you were 5 years old?
a long time ago.
You buy a jersey T-shirt for your kid, for your daughter, for your son, maybe even your wife. Mm-hmm. You don't buy a fucking jersey T-shirt for yourself.
Double down.
Double down.
Yeah.
Get yourself a personalized jersey. At least then you know you're not gonna get traded.
Hey, I got a closet full of $12 jerseys. Okay.
Hey, those came straight from China, and those kids worked hard for you,
Bro. You're gonna get me shut down. They did. I got some legits in there though. I try to buy the Legends legit.
They look pretty good, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm mad because you have a fucking amazing collection of jerseys, and I got like 2 in my closet.
I got like 3 or 4 Carl Josephs if you want one. I got legit 3 Khalil Mack jerseys.
If he ever
one.
gets back on the fucking field consistently, I might take you up on that offer.
Okay.
Just saying.
Anyways, just another reminder, the new edition Pillaging Tees, again, on sale, creativemediamonterey.com. Also, keep an eye on the Raiders Podcast Network by following us on social media. Why is it we got 1,800 followers and RPN has like 300?
This is true.
Follow the RPN, and I'm going to tell you why.
Why doesn't RPN have 1,800 followers? Why doesn't Just Win Ladies have 1,800 followers? And why doesn't Fire and Ice?
Better question. Why do we have 1,800 followers? We're just like 2 dudes.
Hey, we appreciate those follows. Don't fucking leave us, okay?
No.
Don't quit us. Don't fucking unfollow us right now.
Just trying to be humble.
We're just trying to be humble.
I'm just. It's not even a whole gang of followers.
Yeah.
But we appreciate.
But hey,
we appreciate every one of you.
But you matter.
The thing is, though, seriously though, follow Just Win Ladies. Follow Raiders Podcast Network. Why you need to follow them? For one, Che just did a fire episode with Just Win Ladies last week.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Possibly their best episode ever for multiple reasons. One of them being you were there.
Thank you.
Another one, Just Win Ladies is a good podcast.
They're just great. They're great.
They're a great podcast.
Hell yeah.
Number 3, Jenny was way drunker than we are right now. This is buzz driving. That was drunk driving.
She was tequila wasted, and we are
Yeah.
Firestone fucking 12-pack wasted. We're getting there pretty close, but
We're getting there.
not.
We're going to even
Not
out.
there.
It's
Not there.
going to be okay.
By the end of the show, it's gonna be.
Thumbs up from Che. And lastly, but definitely not leastly,
Hell no.
and I said that on purpose, but definitely not least, Fire and Ice debuts this week.
Yeah.
So Fire and Ice has their permanent co-host, or I should say, they're both. I don't want to say one's a host and one's a co-host because I think they're both going to bring fire.
They have 2 great hosts coming at you.
Yeah, it's going to be Jim Jacks. You guys already know.
Yeah.
The prolific Jim Jacks and Oahu Raider
Yeah.
Sean Hildebrandt. They're calling him Hawaiian Smooth.
All right.
Yeah, he's a smooth dude.
Right. Hey, Hawaii. People from Hawaii are pretty smooth, bro.
Pretty smooth.
I gotta give them that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Poke Bowls.
Yeah. But I can go for one right now.
Puta. Yeah.
You know with the futa, bro.
That's some South County shit y'all don't
Hell
know.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Sean was definitely a great guest on our show.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to listening to him every single week. That's pretty cool.
That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
By the way, find the Pillaging Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. On Twitter, at @PillageJustThe4Fun.
That's right.
On Instagram, _Pillaging_Podcast.
That's right.
And on Facebook, the Pillaging Podcast. You know what? Just search the Pillaging Podcast.
We're there.
You will find us.
You will.
Big shout out to Angel Rodriguez holding us down on Twitter.
That's our boy.
Big shout out to Heidi Kevlar Prom Dress holding us down on Facebook.
Yeah, boy.
Girl, you're doing big work out there. on
Hell
Facebook.
yeah.
So, because I don't touch Facebook.
No, man. We're the worst with Facebook, and she just turned our shit around.
Yeah, I did.
So we appreciate you, Heidi.
Heidi, yeah.
Hell yeah.
But hit us up. I do check the Facebook account. I just don't really spend a lot of time surfing on there. But if you want to contact us, she'll get back to you or we'll get back to you. Either way.
That's right.
Hit us up. But yeah, it's time to get into the show, bro.
Let's do it.
The Oakland Raiders dropped to 0-3 after another disappointing loss. This time, the Silver and Black fall to the Finns 28-20 after the third consecutive fourth quarter disappearing act. Absent in the fourth quarter. Nearly absent in the second half of every single game this season. I don't know who to blame. I feel like the blame gets spread around in this game. I don't want to get into that too much because we got a lot of hits to get through.
Yeah.
And it's going to cover all that.
That's right.
Should we just keep it moving?
Let's keep it moving, bro.
The Raiders have been outscored 37-3 in the fourth quarter this season.
Some bullshit.
So far this season, the Raiders have led games for 118 minutes and 29 seconds. That's over 2 hours.
That's right.
That's nearly 2 hours. That's like leading for an entire episode of the Pillaging Podcast.
Oh, actually, I mean, we've been coming with that fire, bro. We're going a little longer than that.
Let's keep it real. They've been tied for 39 minutes and 3 seconds and have trailed for 22 minutes and 28 seconds. Let's pare this down. Led for 118 minutes, trailed for 22 minutes, 0-3. You got to play 60 minutes.
That's right.
Of football.
That's right.
Jordan Nelson balled the fuck out.
You goddamn right.
Amari Cooper went full bipolar and quit on what could have been the biggest play of his career. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
What would you do? Now,
listen, anybody that's played fucking football in their childhood, okay? I don't care if you played fucking Pop Warner, if you played football in high school. Some towns even have football at their middle schools. That wasn't our case. That's not my case. That's all I can say. But some people have been playing football basically all their damn lives, bro. And the one thing that every single fucking coach tells you is you play till the whistle. Till the whistle.
Blow the whistle.
Amari Cooper, did you hear a whistle? Did you hear a whistle, son?
I don't have a whistle sound effect if that's what you're
I'll tell you right now, if my uncle was coaching you, he'd be chewing your ass out, bro.
Uncle O.
Okay? Uncle Big O would be chewing your ass out because you didn't play till the whistle. As a matter of fact, you probably would have sat the bench for the rest of the fucking game. That's how mad he would have been.
That's how Big O does it.
That's how Big O does it. He don't fuck around.
Now, I missed that play because I was at a street festival. Now, okay, this ties in because I worked today. I worked my ass off today. All right, I held it down.
Yeah, you always work your ass off.
I
Bro,
do.
It's not just today.
We both do.
Okay.
The work ethic is real.
That's right.
King works his ass off.
You're fucking right.
Chase works his butt off.
Hell yeah.
And he's a young kid.
Yep.
We're old men.
We
And we out here working.
a little bit. I don't like to think of myself that way though.
I got in my car. It was 94 degrees out there. You think I quit? No.
Hell no, you didn't quit.
I worked from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. in the heat. I was directing traffic. I was working with the DJ. I got the performer on stage. And on my lunch break, I went to Applebee's and I watched the Raiders game. But I missed the first quarter. And when I got back, you'd already told me. You gave me a nice breakdown via text message.
Yeah, I did.
You keep me on point.
I got to keep you in the loop, bro.
That's what's up. I got home and I went on NFL Game Pass and their shitty Xbox app, which I can't rewind. And the condensed game was not up. I was very upset about that. And I sent in a tech support request and they're giving me the runaround. I'm getting bot replies and whatever. I digress. I seen that play. Maybe he catches that ball. Maybe.
There's probably about a 30% chance that Amari Cooper, if he continues to run, catches that ball. But guess what? There was 100% chance that they intercepted the ball if you fucking stop running, bro.
Is that on Derek Carr?
No, it isn't. It's not. I'm sorry.
Put a pin in that because that's important. Pin that.
I pinned it.
You got that?
Yeah. Let's get back to that.
Let's get back to it. Jimmy G's knee. Reported front office rift between Gruden's guys and Reggie's guys.
Yeah.
This is not a surprise.
No.
Because here it is.
I mean, we've been hearing it, right?
Reggie McKenzie, you've drafted 50 people. 10 remain. Maybe 11. They re-signed Shirley Calhoun. But you see what the numbers are doing.
They brought him back.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
He's been here for years.
Yes.
He's not rocking his Spears. It's not happening. But
you better perform better, bro. Perform better. You've been here for years. And this is the first year that we've fucking had you fucking actually do it.
We're actually talking about you. Yeah. So here's the deal, though. This is it. This is facts. Your draft classes have underperformed.
Yes, they have.
Carl Joseph went out with injury today. He got a shot, got busted up. Now he's out. Carl Joseph is done, bro. Carl Joseph is off this team this year.
It's a hot take.
It's hot.
It's a hot take.
You know I like Carl Joseph.
Yeah,
I called the draft pick.
You just said you had 3 fucking jerseys of him.
Well, it's because they couldn't get the damn order right. When I order a jersey, don't put his first and last name on the back of the jersey. What kind of amateur shit is that? But here's the thing. Okay, this is expected. Everyone said this was happening when John Gruden entered the building.
Yeah.
This was a team draft. And I think if you look at it, that's obvious. I'm not going to dispute that. You got Cable getting guys. You got Gunther getting guys. You got Gruden getting his guys. You got Reggie getting his reach in there. I don't dispute that at all. But Reggie, you've been underperforming. John, you've been overpaid. Hot take. I mean, regardless, you're overpaid. It's $100 million, dog.
Yeah.
So, this is bound to happen at any point. I think this whole rift thing is a bit overblown.
I think so, too.
But I do think that there's truth in it. There's smoke there, right?
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Usually. Unless somebody's smoking in the background.
I'm not going to panic just yet. I think this is I think Reggie stays on next year. I could be wrong.
They better turn this bitch around. I'll tell you right now, they better turn this bitch around, bro.
But you still need somebody to work the contracts. And I think Reggie's good at that.
That's not Gruden's thing.
No.
We know that.
No.
Okay, so, yeah. I don't think Reggie's going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
But let's just put a pin in that.
Gruden on the Raiders being outscored 37-3 in the fourth quarter of this season. That's just my responsibility to fix it, quote, unquote. I would disagree with that. I mean, I think John's doing a lot with the play calling that I like.
Yeah.
We'll say it again later on, but anytime you put together a 10-minute drive that ends in a scoring touchdown, how am I going to complain with that?
Exactly. Man.
How am I going to complain about that? John Gruden isn't dialing up interception left 80. That's not a play in the book, right? That's not his fault. No. Throwing picks in the fourth quarter.
I fucking hope not.
I really hope not. I'll tell you what, man. Just drop back, throw it right into the teeth of the defense. Okay?
This is going to work out.
This is going to work out just fine. He's not calling up these plays. That's not happening. The execution is failing us in the second half. We're playing not to win. We're playing tight. We're playing tentative. I do get it. John Gruden is conservative. I get that. You're running. You're sitting on the lead. But that's not what's destroying this team.
Nope.
It's the missed opportunities in the red zone. And I don't really think it's the play calling. 100%. Somewhat. Keith Smith, you had your shot at 4th and 1 last week, and you dropped the ball. You got another shot this week, and you didn't get through. You're like a 230, 240-pound fullback, and you can't make it a half yard. Marshawn Lynch is still over here like, what the actual fuck is going on? First in Seattle.
Especially after you saw him score that touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a pretty good fucking feeling he would have leaped over those motherfuckers in the first one, too.
2 weeks in a row, dog.
Yep.
Power I formation, Marshawn Lynch over the top.
That's it.
Old school football.
That's it.
So that's a play calling error. But I'm not going to put it 100% on John Gruden. This team has to execute. When you give up a pick in the red zone, and then you give up a 74-yard shovel pass for a touchdown.
Bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, go ahead and put that on John Gruden if you want to. I watch football. Marshawn Lynch stated in his post-game interview that this team is a few checks away from having the most explosive offense in the NFL. Again, agree to disagree. I don't think we're the most explosive, but I think we're a few checks away from being at least 2-1.
Definitely.
Can we settle on that?
Come on now.
Come
on now, bro.
Right?
We lost 2 games in a row in the 4th fucking quarter. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we are a few checks away from chicks. No, not chicks. Checks. We're a few checks away from being at least 2-1. That's a given. That's a given. And a lot of argument can be made for the first game too, man. We played solid through the first half, and we were still in the lead through the fucking third.
Yeah.
So, say what you want to say, man.
I mean, again, not the most explosive, although in games 2 and 3, the yardage is there. The first downs are there.
The time of possession is there.
It's all there. And, it's all there.
Except the motherfucking W. which matters.
That's the stat that matters. It's time to move on
Yes.
to everyone's favorite brand new segment.
Fact.
And that's a motherfucking fact.
Brought to you every week by Pro Football Focus. Make sure you follow PFF Raiders for all their stats in silver and black insight. Yeah, have you ever seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Bro, come on now.
Sorry.
I have both versions, bro. Okay, I have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I meant to say Willy Wonka and the Chocolate. That's the original.
Yes.
Correct?
I have that shit on
The
DVD,
original
bro.
movie.
That's the best. You can't get no better than Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, bro. I don't care if you got graphics. It's nothing better than the first.
Not to throw shade at PFF, but they're not able to get us the stats day of game.
Okay.
But I imagine that their stat machine is somewhat like that computer where you ask any question and then it spits out the answer on a little piece of paper.
Right.
I just imagine they're in there pushing buttons right now. That'd be
You
a
got a
good.
bunch of fucking Oompa Loompas over there, PFF?
Maybe. But shout out to Mike over there holding it down.
Yeah.
Regardless, this segment's brought to you by PFF. Follow them at PFF_Raiders. Let's get into it, man, because I got some stats regardless.
Kick them.
Fact.
Derek Carr went 27 of 39 passing with 1 touchdown and, ouch, 2 interceptions. One of which we could definitely not blame Carr on. If anything, that's an overthrown pass. Amari Cooper gets his body in the way. That goes incomplete.
Right.
Possibly a PI.
Right.
Slim chance of reception.
Right.
Could have been his biggest play of his career
It's true.
thus far.
Fact.
Say what you want about Gruden's offense, but the Raiders finished the day winning the time of possession battle by 17 minutes. 38 minutes to 21 on 25 first downs versus 13
Yeah.
for Miami.
Yeah.
But you don't need a first down when you go 74 yards on a fucking shovel pass.
Fact.
Raiders red zone in fourth quarter droughts loom large.
Fact.
Jordy Nelson leaves his mark with 6 receptions for 173 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Did you like this game from Jordy Nelson?
Of course. What is there not to like from Jordy Nelson?
This feels a bit scripted, right? I mean, game 1, you get a breakout from Jared Cook.
Yep.
Obvious mismatch against their linebackers. Game 2, everyone's like, where's Amari Cooper? Where's he been all season?
Boom.
Where's he been all last season?
Yeah.
Boom, shows up. Okay, what about Jordy Nelson? He was even mentioned in the Denver post-game press conference. Where's Jordy Nelson been this whole season? Well, maybe we'll get him involved in the next game.
Fact.
Yep.
And there he is.
Yep.
Lynch and Doug Martin, muscle hamster, combined for 100-plus rushing yards on the day.
Yeah.
Doug Martin, man, let me take this time to get your hot take on Doug Martin. He's shown some burst and a little bit of just get past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. We haven't seen any breakaway speed, right?
No.
We've seen him, muscle through some stuff. Muscle hamster, right?
Right.
Goes with his nickname. We've seen him get some nice, 9 to 10 yard gains, but nothing out of the ordinary where you say you have that contrast from Marshawn, right?
Right.
We have Marshawn, who's the strength, the pounding back, the guy that breaks all the tackles and all that stuff. It just seems like Marshawn's coming in as the same dude. Doug Martin's coming in as the same exact back, just maybe a little less effective.
Yeah, less power. I mean, the shiftiness is there, but it's like at some point, just move forward.
Yeah, but where's the 15-yard run, bro? Where's the 20-yard run? Where's that kind of shit?
He had the 9-yarder. Excuse me, he had the 9-yarder. I think like a 7-yarder, and then getting tackled for a loss.
Yeah.
And it's not terrible. It's not
bad. It's not bad. I'm not saying that what we're seeing is bad, but like I said, it looks like we're getting 2 of the same. Bro.
Yeah, the hype in preseason was real. The coaching staff was trying to sell us on this, and we're just not seeing it. Raiders defense held the Dolphins' highly touted run game in check, limiting them to just 41 yards on the ground. Missed tackles and blown assignments versus the pass, however, loom large.
Fact.
This one's a doozy.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Throw it at me, bro.
The last team to make the playoffs after starting 0-3 was the Buffalo Bills.
What year was that?
1998.
We're throwing it back.
Fact.
Gruden told you he was taking back to 98.
I'm going back to 98.
This is just all some very high-level trolling by John Gruden.
Right.
We're running the table after this. Book it. Sarcasm font end. The Oakland Raiders came up with only 1 sack and generated 0 turnovers. The Raiders are now -3 on the year.
Yeah.
Fact.
Carr has thrown only 2 touchdown passes versus 5 interceptions on the year.
Fact.
No, those last 2 go together because everybody keeps hearkening back to 2016.
That's right.
But here's the fact.
Fact.
Carr still only averaged 7 yards per completion in 2016. But the Raiders were in the top 5 plus-minus for turnovers.
That's right.
That year. Also that year, Carr threw 3,000 touchdown passes and only half an interception.
Those are facts.
Those are facts. And that's a big difference.
Fuck yeah, it's a big difference.
They say it every week, right? That's the standard cliche in the NFL. Take care of the football, win the turnover battle. And we're losing that right now.
Yep.
That's a big thing. You saw at the end of today's game that if that's an incomplete pass, we don't lose this game,
It's true.
right?
This is true. If you throw that shit out the corner, the back of the end zone, like you should have,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You should have put it in a place where only your receiver can get it. That's what you're supposed to do,
That's what you're supposed to do.
but you didn't.
You did not.
If you
do
did that, then you got 3 more fucking downs, Carr,
It was,
to make a touchdown happen.
now,
At least.
I've seen some people arguing on Twitter, and I don't completely disagree. Martavis Bryant completely out of position. You knew that ball was potentially coming to you, yet you let the defender get in front of you.
Yeah.
The back of the end zone is your friend.
Yep.
But that does not mean you put a defender between
You and your friend.
exactly. Box them out. I think Che.
feel you.
Now Che, you just won your Park and Rec basketball championship.
That's right.
And imagine during that championship run, you had a few box outs.
Oh, bro. That's all my game. It's about the only thing I got in my game, bro, is boxing out people, man.
Now, if you've heard Che's voice on the podcast, you know he's got hips because you got to have hips to match the lips. That's a fact. That's just an R&B fact.
Dude in the no. Yo, I got to box out motherfuckers because I'm an old ass dude. I got bad knees and bad ankles. I ain't getting up anymore, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't seen the rim since about 97, bro. Okay, so I'm not even trying to play up in the air, bro. I'm doing everything on ground, using my base, boxing motherfuckers out. And if I don't get the rebound, at least my teammate's gonna get the rebound.
Why does the old heads always have the best box out? I mean, them hips is out, but the booty's out there.
Because they've been around the game, bro. They know what little advantage they got. Yo, I ain't gonna outrun this motherfucker. I ain't gonna outshoot, outjump this motherfucker. So, I'm just gonna use my build. I got a little bit more muscle on this young cat, right?
Yeah.
This cat's like 18 years old, 19 years old, just out of high school. I'm a fucking 36-year-old man. I'm just gonna put a little fucking shoulder, a little back into him. He ain't touching that ball.
Little sugar.
That's it.
Little sugar. Just back him down.
Just let you know.
But maybe it's time for you to show up and show Bryant a little box out.
Right.
And
Call me up. Call me up, Martavis.
I'm not taking this off of Carr's shoulders.
Nope.
But a lot of people that have been critical of Carr said he needs to stand in there and take a hit. The dude took a freaking snot bubble hit on that play. Blindsided. Didn't see it coming. Martavis Bryant out of position. I mean, there's multiple blame to put out there. But the fact is, you forced the ball in their car
That's right.
on a first down.
That's right.
You got careless with the football.
On 1st and 10.
So let me, we put a pin in it. Let me ask you the question. Was that John Gruden's fault?
No.
No, right?
Come on, man.
Come on.
You telling me that Martavis Bryant was the only fucking route out there? No. Carr thought he had a good fucking matchup, and he threw it up. And he just didn't throw it up very well. That's just the fact. He put that shit was on the inside. Go back, replay it, slow motion, all you want. That ball was caught. That was almost a perfect pass to the corner.
Yeah.
And it's because the ball was shaded inside instead of outside towards the sideline. That's just a fact, man.
That's just a fact.
Can't defend him on that one.
No.
He threw that one up.
You want to say John's too conservative to play calling? If you look at the stats, if you look at the facts, Marshawn averaged over 3 yards per carry, like 3 and some change. Multiply that by 3. What do you get? A first down.
That's right.
So what's the problem? We're running the ball down the throat. We're winning the time of possession battle. 25 first downs on the day.
Yep.
Not scoring in the
Get it together.
not scoring in the end zone. I don't know.
We're not getting in the end zone enough, bro. We're right there.
Yeah.
We're right there, and we're just not getting in the end zone. You predicted that we scored 4 touchdowns this game.
Yeah.
Right? We needed those 4 fucking touchdowns.
We needed it. Because how many did Miami score?
4 fucking touchdowns.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it right there.
There you go.
A 74-yard shovel pass! Are you kidding me? Kidding me right now?
Oh, who's playing Madden?
Che,
Yeah.
is it hot in here?
It's a little fucking. I'm sweaty, bro.
It's
I'm
pretty-
not gonna lie.
it's
My
hot.
pits, they're a little sticky right now.
Did you know today was the first day of fall?
I didn't know that. I couldn't tell. Feels like fucking summer in here.
It was very warm. So I think it's time we take a break,
Yes.
cool off.
You're damn right.
We're going to come back with John Kingdon.
With some fire.
Some fire. He's going to right the ship, guys. Maybe. I don't know.
I hope so.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. Hang in there. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, former Raiders executive,
Yeah.
former head of college scouting,
Yeah.
ya boy, co-author of Al Davis, Behind the Raiders Shield, John Kingdon.
Yep.
Jim Jackson said you look like Patrick Ewing at the foul line. You're sweating so bad right now. Someone said you look like the back of Leon Lett's pants. Yo. Jim Jack says early spreads have the Raiders +3 over the Browns. Well, we're the home team. That's the standard line, right? Home team. I hope so too, dog. I hope so too, dog. We're gonna be at that game. Remember that.
You're fucking right. You're fucking right.
You want to come take my seat and talk to these guys?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go use the head real quick.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Oh, all right. What do we got here? How you living, YouTube? Damn, Shorty, you hit him with that kid look good, huh? Took me back to Coming to America right now. That boy good. What's up, David? How you living, man? Safely, I might add, Shorty. I'm driving this bus safely. Following all traffic laws. Three Rings, what's up? What up, Jim? I see you. Bobby motherfucking Wasabi, what's good, my man? Sexual chocolate. You damn right, Vincent. That's my fucking movie right there. Oh, Jim Jackson. Just let your soul glow. Nick, I feel your pain, brother. I feel your fucking pain, bro. So what's everybody thinking about this Browns game, man? Are we feeling are we feeling positive? Are we feeling a little confident? What are the keys here? We gotta turn this bitch around, right? Say hello to the bad guy, Nick. He said, Chet looks like the bad guy holding the Uzi in every 80s movie. Okay. Can I play right tackle? Let me put on a fucking 100 pounds, bro. Maybe. Although I don't know if my fucking legs are any better than Donald Penn's. I hope not, Vincent. I hope they don't start another fucking streak. Let's end this fucking streak. Oh shit, Jim. I'm with you on that. I want to be Machete 4. Hit up Tarantino. Get me on that movie ASAP.
I'll break yourself.
Kenny's back.
I'm taking over. We're gonna keep it moving. I want to put you guys on mute for a hot second. We're gonna get John on the phone here and compose ourselves and conduct a nice interview for you guys. If you guys have any questions for John Kingdon, fire them off in the chat, and I will do my best to get to those. No promises. I'm switching between windows here, so I'm going to try to do what I can. What was wrong with Penn? Penn went out with a concussion. He got a helmet-to-helmet shot. Why they didn't call it, I don't know. Maybe it was incidental, but he took one to the dome, and, bells were ringing. All right, on hold. Let me get John on the phone here, and we'll be right back. 1 second. And we're back. We're joined by former Raiders executive and director of college scouting, John Kingdon. Welcome to the show, Mr. Kingdon.
Thanks so much. A pleasure to be back here again.
Yeah, it's good to have you. It's been about a year since we last talked, and much has changed in the last year. Much has changed. We were speculating about John Gruden last year. We were talking about the heydays of the Raiders, the last time that this team was in the positive as far as the win column and momentum. And those were the times that John Gruden was here. And re-enter John Gruden. You had some thoughts about John last time. Right now, the Raiders are 0-3. We're absent in the second half of games. Who's to blame for this? Does the blame get spread around? Does it land on one person's shoulders? How are you feeling this evening, John, about the whole situation?
Well, I think one of the problems is not everyone is rowing, with the same energy on both sides. So I think to a certain extent, maybe they're going in circles. And what I mean is, obviously there's a real disconnect, and they got played up pretty strong in the on TV today about the disconnect between John and the coaches and Reggie and the personnel department. And when John came out and said, our drafts have been terrible the last 3 years. We're not getting a lot of players. That's throwing Reggie under the bus pretty distinctly. And I think that's part of the problem when they're not working together on the same page. When John comes out and says that I didn't know we were giving a second-round pick back in the Khalil Mack trade.
Right.
I mean, it's like I said, I guess the best word is a disconnect. Now, I'm still a big fan of John's, and the numbers are sort of there where they could actually be 3-0. And here's some stats I sort of picked up. In the 3 games they've played, the Raiders have been ahead in the games for 118 minutes. They've been tied for 39 minutes, and they've only trailed for 22 minutes. In the first half, they've outscored teams 35-17, and they've been outscored in the second half 64-17, in the fourth quarter 37-3. Just kind of, I think, part of the problem again. And John has some valid points about the personnel. The last 3 drafts haven't done a lot. And the things that I watched today that I think stood out. Derek Carr is getting killed. He's getting pounded. 2 years ago, when the team was really playing well, and he wasn't getting hit, he's getting the heck knocked out of him, and he just doesn't look that steady under pressure. That last interception, he's really under pressure. He just throws it up in the corner, and that interception, I think, essentially cost him the game. I just don't think they've done a good job in the backfield, defense and the offensive backfield. I think Marshawn is what he is, but there's no speed threat out of the backfield. Yeah. Now, why only one receiver a game seems to have a good game? Whether it's the first game it was the tight end, and then Cooper last week, and this week, it's the Green Bay guy. And then, what's the problem? The offensive line, which was a real strength now, I think is, particularly at the tackles, is a problem. Now, Miller, at left tackle, I think is going to be a very fine player, but he's a rookie. You're throwing a rookie in there at the blind side, and he's making mistakes, but he'll be fine. And, ever since Donald Penn held out last year and stayed out of training camp and shows up out of shape, I think he's been a real liability, and now they put him on the other side, and that's been even worse. Defensively, obviously, the pass rush or lack thereof has been a real issue. The play at the end when that I think it was Wilson was his name, where makes that long run right at the end. Boy, there was nobody near him. I just don't see a lot of speed on defense, particularly in the backfield, and maybe the real problem right now is you start losing your confidence. What's going to happen next? You had 3 games where they're leading going into the second half, and here's a stat you're going to probably be hearing all week. The team that's leading the NFL in sacks is the Bears with 14, and they're second in the league in takeaways. The Raiders are last in the league in sacks with 3, and they're last in takeaways with 1. So here's one more stat just to rub it in a little bit. Khalil Mack, the last 3 games, has had a sack and a forced fumble for the last 3 games. The last player to have a sack and a forced fumble for 3 straight games, that was Khalil Mack in 2016. So there you go. I've thrown a lot of stuff there, and I think you put it all together, and suddenly you're 0-3.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's definitely a fact. I mean, how good is this team really? Like you said, the first half stats, it's outrageous, right? The first half stats, the Raiders proved to be a team that's unbeatable through 2 quarters. And the second half of the game, it's the exact opposite. Do you place that blame on the coaching staff or, like you've mentioned, the personnel? Does this come down to execution, or is this lack of preparation or lack of a kill shot or aggressiveness on the offensive scheme or even the defensive scheme? Where do you place the blame on this team? Is it staff or is it personnel or is it a shared blame?
Well, I think it probably is a lot of it. I think John doesn't have the. I think John's trying to put the team together that he wants. I think he went with a, everyone said he's gone with a veteran group, somebody I think he was comfortable with, and maybe that's starting to come back to bite him a little bit. The first series of every game, they just marched it right down the field. I think 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And, in this game, they get stuffed at the 1-yard line. They'd have been up 14-0 and such. It just seems they get a little conservative now. I appreciate coaches. Coaches there, they're watching film, hour and hour and hour. So who am I to tell them what to do? But I tell you what really bothered me. They get the ball back with 2 minutes to go, and they need 2 scores, and they do a bunch of dump offs, and they finally get downfield to kick a 52-yard field goal. There's only 20 seconds left in the game. That kind of bothered me. Now, who am I to, criticize? But boy, there was just not a lot of urgency there to get down the field. And even if they did recover the onside kick, they're still they'd probably have 15 seconds to go to score a touchdown. So I think that might have been something that you should probably put a little criticism on. Again, they're so aggressive in the beginning, and it just sort of they play very conservative, almost to not lose, rather than keep up and keep the foot on the pedal and keep playing to win.
It's hard to argue with that, but winning the time of possession battle, I think really what this comes down to is turnovers. If you go back to 2016, like we said earlier in the show, the Raiders were in the top 5 in the league as far as the plus minus and turnover ratio. Derek Carr playing with a short field, and then again scoring almost at a will in the fourth quarter, by will in the fourth quarter, really just forcing their will upon opponents in the fourth quarter. Derek Carr could not be stopped with all of those comeback victories, and it was a team that was just bent on winning. They smelled victory. They learned how to win in 2015, and in 2016, they took it to the next level. Does this team have to learn how to win all over again? You have a guy like John Gruden that has 10-plus years in this league coming back after a 10-year absence. John knows how to win. John knows how to put it together. I mean, arguably he won with somebody else's team, but he also got our team on the precipice of a Super Bowl before he left. So what needs to happen to get this team into the next level? And is this season, is it over? At 0-3, does Raider fan have any hope left for the 2018 season?
I always thought that was a little deceptive. When they say the percentage of teams that start off 0-3, the percentage that make it is very few. I think part of it is a lot of teams that are 0-3 are not very good. I think really has been a problem for this team is there's so much less opportunity for coaching now. There's so many. The union put in so many limitations on how long your practices can be and how long you can meet. And this was a team. Had a lot of turnover, and I think that's really it's not so much learning how to win, but learning how to play together. And with so many new players that came in, you had a new system, you had new coaches, like I said, you had new players. I think they're still learning how to play with each other. And I think the other thing that's maybe coming up to bite them in the butt a little bit is the lack of play in preseason. I think Derek Carr was in for 7 plays the entire preseason. I think they really should have played a lot more to get used to each other. Right now, I think technically they're still in a little bit of a preseason mode. Not that they're saving themselves, but I think they're still learning how to play with each other and what everyone's little idiosyncrasies are. And when you get a veteran team and you just kind of make a little head signal to somebody that you play with a lot, they know what you're talking about. The Johnny Unitas Ray Berry thing. Reading about them, they would just kind of they without even acknowledging what was going on, they could just do it without even making a motion. So I think that we're pretty far away at this point. We were in, just to flash back in Raiders 1986, we were 0-3, and next thing you know, we're 8-4. And we're playing the Eagles, and we're in overtime, and we're just going to run a play or two, kick a field goal, and win the game. And Marcus, who truly a favorite, but boy, the ball popped out, and they picked up the ball and took it back to the 1 and lost the game. And I think that's just kind of getting off the target a little bit, but that's, I think, where Al really kind of lost his patience with Marcus. But so 0-3 doesn't rule it out. I mean, it's just, you really have to take the mentality of, and I know it sounds trite, but really one game at a time. You're not going to win 6 games in a row. You just take it one at a time. They got Cleveland coming in now. Obviously, they're going to be a little more confident. They don't win this one. Well, now you're 0-4, and you're already, you played 3 games, you're 3 games back. That's not great. And Denver's 2-1, and the San Diego's 1-2. So it's not just catching up to Kansas City; it's jumping over 2 other teams to get there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, barring any sort of disastrous injury or just them going off the rails or film catching up to them, if that's what it is, Kansas City's probably going to run away with this division. The wild card, in my opinion, is the best case scenario for the Raiders at this time. I know it's only week 3 going into week 4, but do the Raiders have a shot at the playoffs this year? Do you see this as a team that can eventually get it together as soon as next week and at least peel off some sort of a win streak? I know, like you said, we're not going to win 6 in a row. That's very rare in the NFL, but is this a team that's at least close at this point? How far away are the Raiders from winning and bringing a winning culture back to the silver and black?
I don't really think, again, I'm a big fan of Derek Carr's. I think, he came into a situation. He's had those 2 injuries the last year, and, it can't be that easy to step in with a new head coach and a new system and, new receivers to do that. But, so, I mean, that just takes time. And again, I don't think they put the effort in the preseason games to really kind of work out those niches. But yeah, I think it's a confidence factor. But once you start playing with confidence and you go out there, right now I think they're at a situation where, I think where they're going to say, they won't say it out loud, but I think probably is, I think we got a chance to win this game, and I hope we win this game. Well, when we were really good, with Plunkett and Stabler, we went into games, you're going to win, and even if you lost, you said, what, if we just had a couple of moments, we'd have won that game, that kind of thing. And I think at this point they're going to have to just turn that around. And again, John is such a charismatic, strong person. He looks a little bit different on the field now. I don't see him as quite as vibrant as he was when we first got out there. He kind of has that look of frustration. But I think you just win it one at a time, and if you don't do it, then it's just not going to happen. I mean, the Bill Parcells line. You are what your record says you are, and at this point, it says they're not a very good team. But you can certainly rationalize the numbers. Their Raiders' numbers. If you just looked at their statistics as opposed to the scores, you think this is a pretty good team. with potential. So
Right.
I think the one thing they're going to have to address, I think, is speed. I just don't see a lot of speed out there, and particularly, in all my times with Al, it was always speed, and maybe too much to that extreme, to the extent of extreme speed, overlooking certain talent. But you need some speed out there, and I haven't seen it in the backfield. You haven't seen a lot of it as receivers. Jordy Nelson, he gets run down by, and he had a great first quarter, gets run down by a linebacker on that first series. And then the defensive backfield, I was very disappointed, and I just don't see much speed there. So.
Right, Reggie Nelson has been the target of much criticism by us, across Raider Nation, and definitely on this podcast. He had a pretty good week in week 2, but overall it's shown to be a liability. You mentioned, excuse me, trying to shake this cold. You mentioned something at the beginning of this interview about John Gruden and about the balance of power in this front office. Raider Nation woke up this morning to news that there is a rift in the front office. It's Team Gruden versus Team Reggie. What do you make of this supposed rift? And with a gun to your head, John, which side would you choose?
Well, I'm not a big person to speak on Reggie's behalf, so I'll leave that for John. I really think that, here's a story that it surprised me that John wants all this control, because this is years ago. I happened to be in his office, and Bobby Ross, if you remember, was the head coach of the Chargers. And it came out that he's not only going to be the head coach, but he's going to be in charge. He's going to be the general manager as well. And I never forgot, John said to me, he says, I love Bobby Ross. I always study his film. But I don't understand why he would want all that power. I mean, that's just too much work to do. And then, when John was pretty much running things in Tampa, the personnel department kind of fell off and it didn't work. And I think John really needs a good personnel guy, and maybe that's not Reggie. And, look, there are a couple of scouts in there that I particularly liked. They were still there, Dave McLuhan, Calvin Branch, and there's some people I would clear out. But, again, they got to get on the same page, and whether it's, Bedane or even Mark Davis, putting these people together and just saying, look, can we work? Can you two guys work together, or maybe approaching them separately and say, can you work with this guy? Or if they can't do it, then one of them has to go, and I think only one of them has a 10-year contract.
Good point. Valid point. I mean, it seems to be at this point that Reggie McKenzie is indeed on the hot seat. So coming off of that, Che, you had a few questions you wanted to fire at Mr. Kingdon.
Yes. John, the last time that you joined us, and we're so thankful for you joining us again, you spoke a little bit about Gruden's ability to coach. He being a great coach, but not necessarily being the great talent evaluator. This time around, obviously, he's here on his second stint. What have you seen in his recent draft and his recent personnel moves that would make you think maybe things have changed, maybe things have improved, or maybe they've gone worse?
Well, when I saw the draft this year, my first thought was the coaches are involved here with the first 3 picks, 2 of them offensive linemen, and then that P.J. Hall. I think he was he was just like the D tackle they had in Cincinnati, and I had that confirmed, actually, that those coaches made those first 3 picks. Now, Tom Cable, I don't think was a great – I thought he was a good offensive line coach. I didn't think he was a very good personnel guy. I think Colton Miller looks like he's got a chance to be really good. But, again, throwing a rookie out there is tough, but he's going to be fine. Brandon Parker, I think, is kind of a real stretch. Yeah. But I think those guys are involved, and I think bringing in the veterans, it's suddenly the oldest team in the league. I think that's really the involvement. I think that's really the signature of a coach that wants to, we would have that. Coaches want veteran guys that are kind of easy to coach. And I think personnel guys kind of lean more towards younger guys, to really build your organization up that way. So I think you definitely see John's handiwork on this.
Okay. And do you think it's improved? Do you think that his ability to judge that talent has improved, or is it gotten worse?
I think he really needs a solid personnel guy that can just tell him no, and that he'll listen to him. I mean, you make your case and explain to him why this isn't working. I think that's something that should happen, and I just don't think Reggie has that ability to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Good points.
Here comes the hot question, and we promised we wouldn't kind of drudge this back up again. But if we were to ask anybody, Mr. Kingdon, it's going to be you.
Yeah. So
I'm going to get out of the way here and let Che fire this hot torpedo straight at you.
Please.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kingdon, I'm sure you touched on it earlier. You mentioned Khalil Mack, and that's the hot topic for the Raider Nation. The nation has been in turmoil since the trade, and with good reason, right? But we want to know. Do you think that this is a move that Al Davis would have been in support of? Do you think Al Davis would have gotten rid of one of the greatest defensive ends in support of trying to build a greater team, maybe around Derek Carr, or do you think this was something that he would have been completely against?
Oh, he would have. I mean, Al's line, the quarterback has to go down, and he has to go down hard. Yeah. I mean, he would never have done this. Now, and I don't know. I've heard speculation about the liquidity of the Raiders. Mark really, doesn't bring a lot of finance to the ownership the way these billionaires do. Yeah. And so I don't know if it's an issue of they're not having the money to be able to put up front you have to put a certain percentage aside for the amount of money that's guaranteed, and people are denying it, and that's very possible. But Al was not a liquid guy either. In fact, I remember when we signed Darryl Russell, we did not give him a signing bonus. Now, the reason they didn't do that was because Al did not have the cash to pay him. Now the leagues are obviously making a lot more money now, but the way they did it was they guaranteed all that signing bonus that was that he would have gotten into his contract down as the season progressed. And the reason he had to do it that way is, again, he didn't have the cash. He had to wait for the TV money to come in. But Al would have found a way, one way or the other, to have kept this guy. And like I said, those stats I just showed you are just, I'm sure you're going to get beat to death about what Khalil's done. And then, John's quote, geez, it's so hard to find a pass rusher. That was, that got beat to death. I don't know how you could, he's got to be a little more circumspect in comments like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hitting us hard, right? I mean, it's definitely a loss that Raider Nation is feeling in full.
In his defense, I did feel a little bit of sarcasm in John's answer when he responded to that. He saw that hot question coming at him. He chuckled a little bit. And he's like, "Hey, it's pretty hard to find a pass rusher."
A little bit of a tongue-in-cheek. Of course, when you read it in the paper, you don't see the glint in his eye, I guess, when he says it. But it's here's the thing. I just again, I'm not a coach per se, but the first Amari Cooper has a good game, and he said the tight end has a good game, and then Jordy Nelson has a good game. I don't know why they can't put all three of them together.
Yeah. Coming off of this last question after Khalil Mack, not being there, us losing a defensive edge rush, do you think that there's at least some solace in the picks that we got, and knowing that a Nick Bosa is coming out in this draft?
Well, if they keep losing, it sounds like that's the only way we're going to get Nick Bosa.
Right.
I think the one I think they really hit on was that Maurice Hurst out of Michigan, who's played really well. I think he had one bad penalty today, but he really looks like a solid player. And the only reason he fell was because of failing so many medicals. But I was, this Arden Key, I thought was what little I saw of him in college. I was a little concerned that I just didn't see it. I mean, he kind of flashed. He's a guy that was never really in shape, and when he first got there, he was a real talent. And when they said, well, we got Arden Key, and he's really going to give us a lot of pressure, he really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
So, I think P.J. Hall will help him in the inside, and Hurst. He's coming out of this draft right now. I see Miller, maybe P.J. Hall contributing, and Maurice Hurst. Other than that, I haven't seen much with the scouting department here.
So while we're on the topic of scouting, one of our listeners, Vincent, he wants to know, if Reggie's on the hot seat, if Reggie's days are numbered, if this rift is real. John, with what you know about the league right now, is there anybody on your short list that you would choose to take that spot to be John's personnel guy? Is there any names out there that you know of that would be on your short list?
Well, I haven't really, I haven't been out there in 5 years, and, a lot of the GMs I'm not even familiar with myself. I would say the one guy I wouldn't put in that role is Bruce Allen. I think Bruce is strictly a contract guy and a spokesman, but he was never a good personnel guy, so I really can't come up with a name, but I wouldn't use Bruce. That's the best I can give you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So win percentage aside, win total aside, we've seen definitely the execution isn't quite there, but we do get to see what the play calling is, right? We see the plays, we see the formations, we see the rhythm, we see the flow of the game. What's your evaluation of John Gruden so far? Is he living up to the hype and scrutiny in terms of being away from the game? Do you see an inventive game plan? Do you see an effective game plan? Is there anything that you would scrutinize? What do you approve of? What's your overall assessment of John Gruden as a play caller in 2018 right now?
Well, I see the first half. In the first quarter, the first half, they're moving the ball and they're trying to spread it around. And Carr is seeing open people and different receivers, and they're setting things up with the run and such. And I'm thinking, wow, this is great. I mean, like that first, that opening drive, opening night against the Rams, they marched it. But in the second half, it just, it just looks so tentative. And again, I don't have the game film to really study it, but I just think it, there's the attacking aspect kind of falls away in the second half. And then Carr, made those two interceptions were just, one of them, I guess the TV people were trying to, blame it on Cooper. He didn't finish the pattern, and that one that Derek just throws up into the corner bothered me. And again, that last drive that I had mentioned, where they with 2 minutes to go, and they kick a field goal with 20 seconds to go. I was so disappointed in the lack of really pushing it down the field, and I didn't even see the players really running that hard. That kind of bothered me a lot. But again, so there's good and there's bad. I mean, when John is on, particularly in that first quarter, they're marching it up and down the field, and what is causing the fall off in the second half, I can't tell you. I mean, when we were, great with Tom Flores is not, running the offense, and Charlie Sumner running the defense, we always came out in the second half better than we were in the first half. And, we had a guy, Joe Madro, who was a great coach. He used to always talk about G-day coaching, game day coaching. Maybe they're just not adjusting well, and the other teams are adjusting to what they're doing, and they're not adjusting to what the other team's doing.
Certainly seems like that for now.
Yeah.
So you touched on Derek Carr there for a minute, and you spoke highly of him early on in the interview. We've gone from high to low and back to lukewarm on Derek Carr. Where do you stand on Derek after tonight? Is he the guy, or should the Raiders start actively looking for Plan B at this point forward?
I think he's still young enough that you don't have to really grab a young guy. I think, and they got a veteran guy behind him in case he gets hurt. But here's a goofy analogy. It just kind of hit me. Do you remember Steve DeBerg? Played for the 49ers for a while. Went to San Jose State, and he would play a game. And he'd have a great game, and they'd lose 42-40, and then he'd have another game, and they'd lose 7-6. And Bill Walsh made the comment about Steve DeBerg. He's just good enough to get you beat, which I always thought was really a slap. Here's Derek Carr. He goes 29 for 32 against Denver, and they lose, and the stats. This week was just. I mean, there's 2 interceptions. Obviously, killed it. But he's 27 for 39, 345 yards, but only 1 touchdown and then 2 interceptions. Yeah. No, I wouldn't give up on him. I think it's just a matter of getting used to. It doesn't happen overnight. It's hard. New coaches, new systems, new personnel. They threw a lot at this guy. What has he had? A different coordinator every 4 years he's been there. That's right. That's probably it. That's got to wear on you.
And I think that with all the spotlight on John Gruden and the scrutiny that's been on Derek Carr the last couple of years. I think Paul Gunther is just kind of skating by quietly underneath the radar. Now, I'm really big on Paul Gunther. I went out there and said he was the most important acquisition this offseason for the coaching staff. Yeah. I'm a big fan of what Paul's done in Cincinnati. But I also think that we're very much lacking on defensive personnel. I think the game of musical chairs we've been playing for the last 4 weeks is hurting this team. I put a lot of blame on this defense not closing out these games in the second half. A lot of people put blame on Gruden for the conservative play calling. You have a lead. You're milking the clock. You're doing it effectively in the first half. There's nothing to be said that you can't do it in the second half. But when your defense is missing tackles and lunging and whiffing and grasping at air, how are you going to put that on John Gruden and Derek Carr? Something's got to come together on this defense to close out games. We had a shot in Denver last week, and they say, oh, well, the altitude, oh, well, the heat. You've played in Denver before. You've played in Denver for the last 40-plus years. We know it's a mile high. We get it. There's oxygen tanks on the sideline. No more excuses. Get your defense ready to play, be prepared, and understand that this is going to be a close game. It's the NFL. Not many games are blowouts every single week for one team. Yeah, you see a blowout every week. How many teams are doing it every single week? This is not the Mike Martz St. Louis Rams. This is not the greatest show on turf. We're not putting 40 points up every single week. Do you place some of this blame on Paul Gunther's defense or particularly the defense deficiency in personnel? I mean, can we start to shift our focus to the defense and its shortcomings, John?
Well, again, you don't want to beat the Khalil Mack thing to death, obviously, but the defensive backs, they've done a lot of drafting and they just haven't done that well. I thought Conley looks like he's starting to cover a little bit, but his tackling is awful. They drafted the guy from West Virginia in the first round, the safety, and he's not playing at all. I think your defensive backs get a lot better when they put pressure on the quarterback. Now, I think he got a little conservative at the end. I don't believe he was. He pulled off on the blitzing, and Tannehill just stood back there and made some truly great throws. I think he's another quarterback. Like any quarterback, you put pressure on him, and they're going to fall off a little bit. So I think, again, what's going on there is one side's going to point fingers at the personnel, and personnel's probably going to blame the coaching. It looks like they've tried to get defensive backs, and they just have not done a very good job of it. I thought the linebackers actually did a pretty good job today, but there's no rush on that defensive line. So your technique is off, and I thought we got again conservative without where I think you really needed to rush this quarterback and personnel. So I think it's a triumvirate.
Yeah, it's definitely a combination of factors. I just feel like last week, very, very heavy in the blitz. Paul brought it last week. I didn't see it this week. Maybe a number of factors as to why. The DBs had great coverage in the first half, and that broke down. Maybe that's the heat. Maybe that's fatigue. But you got to help these guys out. Send a couple extra bodies at the quarterback because you're absolutely right, Mr. Kingdon. There's no pressure right now. I was counting alligators when Tannehill dropped back to pass, and I got up to 4. I got up to 5. That's entirely too much time in the NFL to give a quarterback. I don't care who your QB is, whether it's Ryan Tannehill or Tom Brady. 4 seconds, that's a completion in my book.
Yep.
So that needs to get corrected. Before we let you go, John, we got Cleveland coming in next week. Cleveland Browns, they're a buzzsaw right now. That defense is legit. They finally smelt victory. You know, a lot of people said, I want them to win this week so they don't come in here hungry next week. Guess what, guys? It's the NFL. They only play 16 games. You better be hungry every single week.
That's right.
Mr. Kingdon, give us some keys to beating the Browns next week. How do we get past this slump? How do we win this home game? How do we defeat the newly minted Cleveland Browns?
Well, you come out, firing the way John has, and then you keep your foot down on the pedal. I mean, you got to, make those throws deep, but make it clear to Carr. If the guy is not there, don't force it in. I think the turnovers, particularly today, killed us. I think what's going to work a little bit in their favor. I think Baker Mayfield's going to come in here, and I think that he's going to. Hey, this is easy. I said, wow, this isn't hard. The difference is going to be that Coach Gunther has got a week to him. You have a solid at least half of football to really see what they can do to take away his game. I think the other thing I think they're going to have to address is the Browns have a pretty good pass rush. And, maybe they need to keep an extra back in the backfield. Maybe keep the tight end, to the right side where Penn's having problems. So I guess it comes down to pass protection and for us and pressure on them. But I think the one thing that might work against, like I said, against Cleveland is there might even be overconfidence, particularly on the part of Mayfield.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I sincerely hope so, because with not getting pressure and a guy like Mayfield that can escape pressure and a lack of speed on defense, it certainly seems like a recipe for 0-4 at this point. I'm starting to lose my confidence. And if you're going to defeat the Browns, and this sounds very strange, but you're going to have to put 30 points on the board.
Yeah, we got to at least score more than 20, right?
Yeah.
Come on now.
So. And with that defense, it's going to be difficult to do so. So let's get tricky. Let's get creative. And by all means, don't take the foot off the gas.
Well, the other factor, I bet Hugh Jackson is really, really pointing to this game as well. Mm-hmm. Coming back to Oakland, and, he was fired by Reggie. Yep. And so I think he would, I think that's sort of an added incentive for the Browns in that sense.
This is true.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grudge match, if you will.
Definitely.
Mr. Kingdon, thanks for joining us on our show. Again, if you haven't already, the book's been out for about a year now. One of the best reads I've ever read. I put it up there with The Snake, the Ken Stabler book. As far as books on the Raiders go, make sure you check out Al Davis, Behind the Raiders Shield. John Kingdon, obviously co-author of that book. Some great stories in there, some great anecdotes. And if you're a member of Raider Nation, it's must-read material.
It's a must-own.
It must-own.
Must-own.
Mandatory reading.
Yep.
Speaking of which, you need to give me back my copy and buy your own. Shay.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. That's the best place to find it.
Yeah, and our very own pillager, Scott Odell, actually narrated it. So if you're...
Scott was fabulous. Thank you, yeah.
Yeah, good job. He did a pretty good Al Davis voice on that.
Yeah.
So if you're on the move and maybe you're not much of a reader, hey, there's no excuses for you. Get the audiobook. And if you don't have an audible.com membership, hey, the first book is free.
There you go.
Fresh out of excuses.
No excuses. No excuses.
But I do happen to know a lot of our fan base, and a lot of our listeners, a lot of Raider Nation have read that book. Great book. Again, Mr. Kingdon, thanks for coming on the show. We look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Yeah.
Always my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, sir.
Appreciate it.
Classy guy, man.
Oh, man.
And
all the time.
He shoots straight.
Shoots it straight from the hip, bro.
Yeah.
He's not beating around the bush. He's letting you know what he really thinks, and that's what I appreciate about it. That's why we had to give him those questions, man.
I was hoping to come out of that feeling more confident, and I don't. And I appreciate that.
Hey, listen, man. If life was all about sugar and fucking roses and fucking beautiful things, then it, it'd be real easy.
Yeah.
Life's not easy, bro.
We'd all be Ariana Grande. Well, let's face it, you got pipes, Che, but you ain't got pipes like that.
I don't got pipes like Ariana Grande. No, I don't.
I just look at her and I think, she probably got a pretty easy life.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I saw her lick a cupcake in a store. I thought I'd never get away with that. I'd never get away with that.
I'd get away with a fucking cupcake.
That's true.
I wouldn't have licked it in the store. I would have just taken it with me.
Anyways, we still got a big show coming up for you. That was the first hour. We're going to take a short break. We're going to hear from your calls. When we come back, we will respond to those calls.
Yep.
Hopefully, we got a winner in the bunch.
I hope so. We got fucking copies of books to give away. Come on now.
We got things to give away.
Things to give away.
We will announce last week's winner. If you don't follow us on Twitter, then you don't know. Maybe you missed a tweet, but we will announce that coming back.
And if you don't know, now you know.
And of course, we got Kane's Corner. He's got a lot of fire.
He's bringing it.
Although
be ready.
He hasn't responded, so I don't know. He might have jumped off the cliff already. And
that Miller High Life.
And also on the back half of the show, we got Chase on tape making his return.
Yeah.
We're back in studio, which means Chase is on the show.
That's right.
And hopefully he can make some sense of this and maybe put a silver and black lining on this cloud.
I hope so.
We'll see. We'll see what Chase has got. I know he's in the film room right now. He's locked away in a dark room. And he's breaking down this tape.
Break it down.
So we'll get right back at you guys. Hang in there. If you're on the YouTube live stream, stay tuned and listen to these calls. And we out you.
Peace.
And go Raiders.
I keep it well.
We do, by the way. We do. We keep it real.
tough loss this past week, but hey, this is Miles down here in Santa Clarita, representing Raider Nation. Keep the flag up every Sunday. You know, it was a tough loss this past week, but you know what? Win, lose, or tie. Raiders till I die. Go Raiders.
What up, Pillagers? It's WAP, Kenny, Jay, Kane, Jim Jacks. Yes, 0-2. Yes. With all the negative feedback that we're getting from the media, you would think the Raider Nation would be able to be a little bit more cohesive and stand together. But no. It's not enough that we get punched in the face repeatedly on the media. We gotta get punched in the face and kicked in the balls by our own people because they want to talk shit. Listen, we started 2-0 last year and went on like a 5-game losing streak. We are 0-2 and on the upward trend. The team is starting to work together. The offense is starting to gel. The defense is looking better. We got an interception in week 2 and not week 10. Y'all need to chill the hell out. My goodness. Austin, like you said, just relax. It's 2 games into the season and y'all ready to burn the shit down. Give me a fucking break. You know, really. Y'all need to check your Raider Nation cards. You're losing your mind over just stupid things and you're taking dumb takes. Stop. It's just dumb. Chill out. We're doing good. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff going on in the Denver game. Denver, no, they just squeaked out with a fucking win. All because that whole entire team was gassed out. All right, new players. We had a new defensive tackle that just joined the team, didn't play any practice, straight in and did 60 snaps or so. Clint, that dude he did good for playing on his first day in Denver. Give me a break. Y'all need to chill. Wapo's out.
The WAP. WAP might get a book, bro.
El Wapo.
The WAP might win some things, bro.
That was from last week.
Still.
What's up, fellas?
Oh.
Vader Raider here. Coming at you from the 303. And a couple days after the loss, still kind of stings. Been in this dang town for 23 years. Hate every minute of it. Originally from SJ. 408, much love. Let's get right down to it. So, yeah, a lot of mistakes made in this game. It pisses me off, but what are you going to do? Reality is, you know, our defense sort of was gassed, like they were saying during the entire broadcast. I think that we got to stay the course here, fellas. You know, I mean, I believe in Coach, you know, and I believe that, you know, there's some things that were being said all week long about, you know, is this a rebuild? Is this a reload? What exactly is this? Well, bottom line is this. I don't believe that the offense is a rebuild, but I will tell you this. I believe that the defense is a rebuild, and that's my gut feeling. I think with all the kids up front and with Bruce, who, by the way, I was very disappointed in Bruce's play yesterday. He looked gassed, and his costly mistake cost us, you know, he's one of the big reasons we lost that football game. Love Derek coming back and kind of answering the critics and being the guy again. Hopefully we can bring that mindset into Miami. I'm going to lay it out for Raider Nation because I don't beat around the bush. I don't look at the glass half full. Never have, never will. I've been a fan of this team for my entire life. I've been on this planet 45 years. I'll tell you what. They always do this. You know, not since 2016 has it been, have you been able to say, hey, we're going to win this game. It's always up in the air what we're going to do. It's always up in the air how it's going to play out. I'm not a pessimist. I'm not an optimist. I'm a realist. And here it is, nation. Bottom line, we go to 0-3. The percentages are against us big time. And I believe what I read this morning, no team has ever come back from 0-3 and gone to the playoffs. We go to 0-3, that's it. Okay? And don't give me that, it's not over, Raider Nation, blah, blah, blah. It is over. 0-3 is the death knell. You guys all know it. I know it. It's not going to be some miracle finish where they reel off 10 straight wins or some crap like that, okay? Bottom line, got to win Sunday in Miami. Take care of business. Hey guys, this is the Vader. And disregard my previous phone call because it cut me off. But yeah, really disappointed with the loss on Sunday. Really thought we had that one. Bottom line is we got to do a little better job. I still believe in Chucky. Still believe Bruce can get us over the hump. I'm going to go ahead and basically say a couple things real quick and get off. I don't think we're in a rebuild. I've heard that a lot this week, but I don't believe the offense is a rebuild, but I definitely think the defense is a rebuild. So take that for what it's worth. Secondly, real quick, I'm not a pessimist. I'm not an optimist. I'm a realist. Here it is, 0-3. You guys know the deal. Everybody knows the percentages, and everyone knows it. We go 0-3, we're done. We've got to win in Miami. We've got to come back home. We've got to take care of business against those dirty Browns. And then send Hugh Jackson home crying. I'm telling you right now, we don't end this 4-game stretch 2-2. What can I say? It's time for hockey season. Anyway, but it's your boy, Vader Raider. I'm out. Thanks for the podcast. Love you guys.
Danny, Jay, how's it going, guys? It's Jay from Colorado. Just giving a call for some feedback from the Broncos game. Thought it was a overall good game. Obviously disappointing at the end there, but I called a week prior about Derek Carr, and he definitely shut me up for this week. Of course, I'm gonna stay kind of skeptical, but I thought he put in a pretty good performance. And I gotta say also, another guy I want to give a shout out to is Colton Miller. Just kind of watching him during the game, he seems to be holding his own. That's all I have to say today. So go Raiders, and we'll see you next time.
Man, it's WAP. We just lost to Ryan fucking Tannehill. God dang Dolphins, man. Are you fucking serious? Another fourth quarter meltdown. What the fuck is going on? I'm finding very, very difficult to just stay positive, 3 games isn't bad to lose when we're losing them close, but these are games, it's like getting kicked in the balls, punched in the mouth, and kicked in the fucking teeth. I mean, God, can we catch a fucking break? It's just, it's just utterly disgusting, man. I can't believe it. The doom and gloom has got El Wapo. I can't stay positive. I just said, I'm so pissed. I just gotta smoke myself stupid and drink myself to the toilet. It's just horrible. You guys have a good one.
Okay. Boy, 303.
watched the back half of the game, and same thing happens, man. Same thing that happens. Defense, offense, just looks terrible. Just looks terrible. I really thought that we was gonna win this game, but
What's up, nation? It's Juice. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm getting pretty tired of watching the same movie every Sunday. Oh, they dominated the first half, and then we get made a mockery of in the fourth quarter. It's kind of like getting jerked off for a while, and just before you nut, she just ups up and walks out the room. It's starting to feel like that, guys, and I don't like it. You know,
I bet you don't.
If you go back and check the tape, when I called in shortly after John Kingdon was hired, I said I was optimistic, about it, but I was cautiously optimistic. I was excited because we had an offensive-minded coach. But I was worried because I said when Dungy's team left, GM Gruden ran the team into the ground. And he's done some pretty weird shit so far. But what's really upsetting me is the fact that this offensive mind seems to kind of blow it somehow in the fourth quarter. I mean, the other team makes adjustments, and he's not countering those adjustments for some reason. I know that we were driving there at the end, and I know it looked like maybe Marshall might have been dinged up or needed a breather or whatever, but we're driving the ball. It's working on the ground. Their D linemen were gassed. They had nothing, and all of a sudden we're starting to throw it around, air it out, and Carr was shaky. He had a couple of near picks all throughout the game until he finally had the one that blew it. So I don't know. And then too on defense, we're not getting any kind of pass rush whatsoever. And I don't want to hear but Khalil Mack, because now it's like right from the swingers, guys. Oh, the one they got away. I miss her. Shut the fuck up. You dance with the girl you brought, okay? And so the girls we brought, they're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. And that's the problem. We're playing with the lead, but we can't hold it because the guy's got no pressure in the pocket, and he's got to throw deep. It's no problem. He's throwing deep on Stuart Schwager back there, or Reggie Nelson, or whatever. It doesn't matter. They're the same person. It's starting to get frustrating, guys, and I'm upset. But please believe, I'm not giving up on this team. Next week, when they play the Browns, me, my dad, my youngest son will all be there cheering them on. And I can't wait to meet you guys all in November and hang out with you guys and have a good time. The middle finger goes to everybody who says they're done with this team. Those guys that were leaving the LA game and Che was asking, are you still fans? And they're like, well, I'm not sure. Get the fuck out. There, we made up your minds for you. It's always Raiders. I'll catch you guys later. Go Raiders.
Put a pin in that call. That was a good one.
My boy, Juice. Here's my boy.
Here's a strong call. You ready?
Hell yeah.
I'm not sure who that was.
I like how that tailed off, though.
First thing you can take away over these first 3 weeks from John Gruden, the thing that has changed in coaching over the past 10 years since he's been gone, it's alien mind control. That's something that Gruden hasn't been able to figure out over these 3 weeks is the alien mind control. What he needs to start doing is he needs to start putting tinfoil in the players' helmets and a pickle in their mouthpiece. That's the only way they're going to be able to finish these games and come out with a W. I mean, even the Browns know about alien mind control. So, I better hang up now because this is Kenny's show and I don't want to keep talking. And Jay's probably in the background giggling, so I'll just hang up now. High school honky. I'm out.
Nailed you, bro. He nailed
Yeah.
What's up, my brothers? It's Homer.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting tired of these dark
trailing off, bro. The sound, bro. Volume's going down. Cold-blooded. Ice cold, you cold, bro.
Yeah, I don't think this is an issue with
a nice win streak sure would be good. The other thing with Derek is I'm sure he's reading all the criticism. I'm sure he's hearing it in the media. Like when he gets away from his game, he starts forcing things, and he becomes the quarterback that he's not. I really wish that he could just play his to prove anything to anybody.
There it is.
I mean, his peers have looked at him like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I remember reading that in the Pro Bowl. Antonio Brown said that. So did Landry. We have a good quarterback, you guys. I just don't understand the hate. Does he make mistakes? Sure. Is he perfect? No. But it's real hard to find a quarterback. I can name off too many names of guys like Mark Wilson and Vince Evans. The list goes on of scrappy quarterbacks that we had that never proved anything. And this guy's already setting Raider records as we speak. I'm just a little frustrated about giving up on young talent, though. We brought in a right tackle because Penn got a...
Kenny, Jay, it's your boy 303, calling from, and it is beautiful today in Denver, so fuck off. I don't know what to say, man. I'm fucking speechless. Thought for sure we'd win this game, but then I thought about the same shit last week, and it's the same shit. This team, we kill each other with penalties. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I mean, from the get-go, we started off fast. Carr looked good. Running game. And then just mistakes, man. I mean, mistakes. Number 4 did not play a great game today. Amari Cooper dropped 2 passes. I mean, we're not good enough to overcome these small mistakes. 0-3. I don't think any... I mean, I know some people claim doom and gloom on the block, but there's no way we should be 0-3 right now. But we are, and it is what it is. So next week, Cleveland's coming to town with a fired up fan base. Baker Mayfield looked good. Fucking Hugh Jackson's going to come back and beat us to go 0-4. Oh my God, the Oakland fans, they don't deserve this shit. As much crap as I give Oakland, and I don't give crap to Oakland, I give crap to the dumbasses that couldn't get a freaking stadium built. But the fact is, man, we look really bad. I don't want to hear this play here, play there. Well, we didn't make the play, so we're 0-3. It is what it is. So, what the fuck? We got to man up. I'm coming in to Cleveland with my boy, my youngest. I've watched the last 6 games in a row that I've been to, we've lost. And we got to get somehow a fucking win in Cleveland, because if not, man, that place is going to burn freaking the Coliseum down. It's going to get ugly. The local fans don't deserve it, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it looks like this roster was a lot worse than we thought, and it looks like Gruden isn't a genius currently. And Carr, is just, I don't know, man. He's not a quarterback that can carry this team. He's not in that upper tier. Obviously, we know that, but we're paying this offensive line a lot of money. We've got weapons. I don't know if it was a questionable play call or more of a questionable throw, but here we are, 0-3. Raider Nation, suck it up. Stop being bitches on the blog. Everyone's in full meltdown mode, but got to somehow finish this season, get 7 or 8 wins, get some type of hope towards next year. And I got a feeling they're not going to be in Oakland next year. This team is out. This is it. And with that, 303 is out. hopefully there's more positivity next week. Have a great night, fellas.
Last call.
Yo. Pillagers, Kenny, Che, Kane. This is Monster Mash Ken. Last but not least, right? Trying to get that call in there before you guys shut it down. Anyway, first and foremost, I just want to say thanks a lot for nominating my call last week, and I really do enjoy listening to you guys and putting in my 2 cents. And like everybody else, I'm just a fan, and I appreciate what you guys do. And you know what? You guys keep it real, and that's all we can do. But like I said, I'm just a fan, and everybody else, we're just fans. We invest in this team. I've been a Raider fan since 1987, 88, and I've been through the good, I've been through the bad, and I've been through the ugly, just like this first 3 weeks of the season. And you know what? I'm still a fan. I'm not going to slip my wrist or anything like some of these other bozos are talking about. If I slip my wrist, you know what? It's going to be, I'm going to bleed silver and black. What's it going to get me? I'm not going to be negative. I'm not going to be, it is what it is. You know what? We choose the choice to like this team and to continue to support this team. And you know what? John Gruden, Derek Carr, yeah, maybe this loss is on them. They're the leaders of the team, but they're out there, they're trying to win. Carr's throwing up 50-50 balls to Bryant. Bryant's got to come down with that. Coop's got to come down with the ball. Jordan Nelson did his part, but you know what? Kind of disappeared in that fourth quarter. I was thinking about one thing, though, that what are we missing? Where can we point the finger at? You know, is it on the defense? They were gassed again. And I think, this is just me, we're missing electricity. We're missing somebody that's electric and that's a fucking game changer, and whether that's on the defense or on the offense. And we need somebody that's like, you can get in the ball and things are going to happen. Yeah, maybe Mac was that guy on defense, but he ain't here no more. So I'm thinking maybe we should go after Bell and do that 1-2 punch with Lynch and Bell. Bell, he's a home run hitter. He gets the ball, he's going to make shit happen, and that's what we need to do. We need shit to happen in the fourth quarter. We're right there. I can taste it, and we're so close. We're so close. But anyway, Raider Nation till I die, ride or die. Love you guys. Take care. Raider Nation. Bye.
All right, we're going to be coming right back right now. Oh. And we're back. A lot of calls there. A lot of calls. We had some calls from post-Denver game leading into the Miami game. I thought I'd leave some of those in because it's interesting to hear the takes coming off of that game.
Hey, they deserve their shine, bro.
They deserve their shine.
Yeah.
We're getting to the point where we might not be able to include every call. I'm going to say this now because this is really my bad. We did switch time slots during the offseason. We moved to Sunday nights, which makes it difficult for callers. I mean, if you're trying to call in and react to the game on a Wednesday, come Sunday night, that take is already 2 games old.
It's true.
Right? So I'm going to put this out there now. If you listen to the show, just call in post-game at this point. Unless, if your take is game-specific, call in post-game. It's a little bit more general. Call in because I'm not sure – I enjoy all the calls, and I appreciate all the calls. I'm not sure all of our listeners want to, at this point, wallow, 2 losses deep in phone calls, if I'm making any sense, Che. Does that make sense?
Fuck yeah, you're making all kinds of sense to me, bro.
So it's not that we don't appreciate this or we're getting too big for your calls or anything. That's not like that. Nothing has changed.
We've never been too big.
No.
We never will be.
That's not what she said.
We're talking about our fans, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's not the case. It's not the case. It's more an issue of timeliness than anything.
That's it.
And trying to keep the show as to the point as possible.
That's it.
I almost said brief, but let's be honest, this show ain't brief.
There's nothing brief about this show.
Yeah, I need to change my briefs.
Except our box of briefs.
It's hot in here. Briefs need to be freshened up. But I'm just saying that if you're going to call in the future, please call in. Try to do a day of the game. If you want to call in midweek, that's fine. Let's just try to keep it a little bit more broad, I guess, at that point, if you can. I don't want to cut anybody off. And we may be moving the show back to Mondays in time.
We'll see.
We'll
see.
It has
we'll
a
see
lot,
what works.
It has a lot to do with the work schedule.
Yeah.
We got day jobs over here.
Yeah.
We're not quitting those. But let's dig into it. First of all, again, thanks to all the callers. But before we move forward in response to your calls, we want to acknowledge Monster Mash for his winning call last week.
Yeah.
It was close. We had this as a near tie.
Yeah, there was some good calls, bro.
Between Monster Mash and Splatterhead. Both of them had a similar theme.
Yeah.
Basically, the theme was don't give up. Right?
That's right.
And now we were 0-2. And now we're 0-3.
I like to hear that take now.
So special consideration to Monster Mash for your call this week because you continue that theme.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with you. I think it's far too early to give up. I think if you had Super Bowl aspirations for this year, you were way too far ahead of yourself.
Yep.
I think playoffs, I said, too far ahead of yourself. Even though I called 10-6.
And I called 11-5.
You did call that. That's a playoff number.
Yep. That's playoffs. But we weren't talking about Super Bowl. We were talking about getting into the playoffs, man.
No. And 9-7 is still reasonable at this point.
And you heard your boy John Kingdon say, we started off 0-3 before and ended up 8-4. I mean, if we could pull something like that off, we're right back in it.
Yeah.
We're right back in it. But there's a lot to be seen.
Right. They play 16 games now.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
That's right. I know.
But Monster Mash, you got the winning call last week. You're going to be receiving a free copy of Michael Lombardi's new book, Gridiron Genius. Enjoy that, Mash. In fact, if you're listening to this on Monday, you probably already got the book because I mailed that out to you last week. I was on it.
There you go.
I was on it. I mailed out tickets to G-Paw Raider.
Yeah.
So y'all should be getting that. I got a call from you asking for hotel accommodations. That I can't help you out there.
Yeah.
I'd recommend checking out some of the sites online and trying to get yourself a spot nearby. I recommend the Comfort Inn. It's across the street.
Right there.
It's right there.
Right there on Hagenberger.
So I can help you out if you email me because when you call me, I don't have a phone number. I can't call you back.
Yeah.
If you email me, I can give you a few suggestions. But as far as accommodations, I can't book you. I can't do anything like that.
Yeah.
I got no ties to the hotel industry.
We just got ties to the Raider Nation.
That's it.
As far as we know, Raider Nation doesn't own a hotel chain. But
yeah,
keep us posted, Raider Nation.
If we do, it's probably a budget one at this point. But shout out to WAP, man. Just to be clear, it's not a meltdown in the fourth quarter. If you're not hot, you got to be hot to melt.
Yeah, damn.
It's ice cold in the fourth quarter.
It's a little frozen over there.
Speaking of ice cold,
yeah,
Ice Cold Honky was on some shit tonight. He likes to say that we're junkies and we're smoking, but he came with some weird alien take. I'm not really sure, but he was spot on about your giggling in the background.
Was spot on. He called it as I was doing it, man.
You gotta. You're a laughable guy.
I like to laugh, bro. Hey, you gotta keep it light, man.
Yeah.
We're going through some rough times over here.
Yeah.
If I'm not laughing, it's a bad thing.
A lot of calls. I'm not going to touch on all of them. It's already getting late, and
Yeah.
we still have a lot to cover here in the second half.
Yep.
But 303, good call. 303 is usually pretty optimistic. 303 likes to champion for Derek Carr.
He does.
And 303 sounded pretty down this week.
Hey, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
The signal flares are in the air.
They are.
And people are starting to wave the white flags.
Ain't no Batman coming, though.
I'm not saying 303 is there. Batman's not on his way. Bruce Wayne is not walking through that door. Although, you can make a case for John Gruden being Bruce Wayne after that contract. But Batman's not walking through that door. Robin's not walking through either, even though Bruce Irvin is Robin and he's still here. 303, man, hang in there, dude. I know there's a lot of question marks, but the numbers are there. The stats are there. We just got to put it together in the fourth quarter.
That's it,
We're
man.
one quarter away
Yep.
from being 2-1, possibly 3-0 right now.
It's possible.
Hang in there, guys.
Possible.
We're going to put this together. If not this year, late in the season, it's going to happen. I have full confidence in John Gruden. I think he's going to turn it around. I think people are scapegoating him. I don't think he's this big villain that everyone's making him out to be. At the end of the day, John Gruden just wants to win football games.
I agree.
This guy.
I agree. You think he came back to lose? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think he came back to lose. I don't think he came back to start controversy. I don't think he likes being the center of drama. I think he just wants to win football games.
Yep.
Yeah, unknown caller in there was inaudible during the recording here, but I think I figured it out. I had an audio gate turned on that was acting kind of weird. Juice, very accurate analogy.
Hell yeah.
Getting the incomplete tug job. That's exactly what this feels like. Exactly what this feels like.
It's very personal too.
Can we just go ahead and crown Juice the winner right now?
Fuck yeah, we can crown him. I told them it's on its way already.
Juice, I'm going to hand deliver that copy to you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because Juice is a local.
Yo.
Juice has been in studio.
No Bruno, too.
Yeah. No Bruno.
no Bruno on the hand delivery.
Oh, yeah. No pun intended there. I'm going to deliver this copy personally to you, is what I meant to say. Juice is a local, so I can do that. I have the pleasure of doing so. This is not favoritism. Juice is just a good call. You put
that was a great call, man.
Put things in perspective, man.
Hell yeah.
And you didn't lose your cool, but the emotion came through. So I liked it. Very balanced call, very informed call, very well thought out, complete. Yep. You landed the plane. I like the call. You like the call?
That's key. You got to land the fucking plane.
Got to land the plane. A lot of people know how to take off. But you got to land the plane.
You got to land the plane, bro.
Got to bring it back home. I had the game recap in here, but I think we've done a good job of that already.
Yeah.
Kane is not responding at this point. So it's in our best interest. We have to do our due diligence, and we got to crown an MVP of this game.
Okay.
So I'm going to put this on you, Che.
Oh, shit.
Because I usually put it on Kane. Would you feel better starting with a trash can player?
No, we can go MVP.
All right, who's your MVP in this game?
Jordy Nelson.
You the real MVP.
Can't argue with that.
Simple.
Ripped off 2 big ones and a touchdown.
I mean, you know, them legs ain't as young and and lively as they used to be.
No.
Can't run away from a linebacker. I'll give you the fact that you can run away from Minka Fitzpatrick. He's a young guy. He's got some limber legs.
But that brain can still find space.
But he's still doing this damn thing, right?
Who's our trash can player this week?
Oh man. Damn. That one's a little bit tougher, man. It's a little bit tougher because there's a selection to it. You know,
there's quite a few.
You know what? No, there isn't. Fuck that. Okay. Your boy Reggie Nelson has been my fucking trash can player for the last 3 fucking games.
Really?
Ain't nothing gonna change.
All right, well, we're backing up the truck over Reggie Nelson.
I know other people could say there was this, that, the other.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is that your boy Reggie, and Reggie, I hope you're hearing this, man. You know, I hope you get offended and actually play better. Because the bottom line is, you're the safety. You're the last man in line. You're the one that's supposed to be helping over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Not behind. Not trailing.
Get behind me.
Get behind me, Lord. Shit. Born in East LA. Bringing it back. Yo, Reggie Nelson, you're nowhere to be found when those fucking passes are going deep. And you're the last man in coverage. You're the last man to help.
Oh, he can be found. He's often chasing from behind. Here's the thing. If you're safety, you should always be coming downhill. Always downhill. The problem is you're already over the hill. You can't go downhill when you're over the hill.
But see, listen, man. Reggie Nelson is not the first fucking geriatric playing safety in the NFL, okay? There's been a lot of older cats that switch from corner to safety because of their age, because of the lack of speed. They use their brain to tell them, okay, I got to position myself better. I have to be there before I need to be there. Reggie Nelson is not doing that. He's not doing that. I don't see Reggie Nelson starting to run backwards until the receiver's already fucking past him. That's not a good look, bro. For 3 fucking seasons, maybe more, I've seen you do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you do that exact same thing. And guess what, Reggie? You've gotten older every single year.
Yeah.
So if you're doing the same thing you did 3 years ago, I don't think you're going to fare well in the 3rd year, bro.
Ain't a damn thing changing.
Yeah.
It's time for one of our newest segments. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Are you ready to keep it real?
I'm ready to keep it real.
I keeps it real.
So let's talk about this, because this is not just a Raider Nation thing. This is a league-wide thing. The sacks, man. The roughing the passer calls. The first one I saw was against Clay Matthews last week.
Yeah.
And it continues this week. It happened. It showed up in our game.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue I have with it is it's not the inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
It's the call itself.
That's right.
So we got called, was it Maurice Hurst?
Maurice Hurst got called for that today.
Hurst got called for roughing the passer today.
Mm-hmm.
Saw a side-by-side on Twitter of Carr getting sacked in the game.
That's right.
Looking nearly identical
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't get the call. I know a lot of Raider Nation was complaining that we did not get that call.
Mm-hmm.
You know why we didn't get that call? Because it's not a penalty.
It shouldn't be.
Sacking the quarterback is not a penalty.
It shouldn't be.
Let's keep it real.
That's the truth.
The call on Hurst, also not a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
I have more issue with Hurst getting that call than Carr not getting that call.
I do too.
And I have an issue with Clay Matthews, a non-Raider, but a solid football player, getting that call. He got
that call last week and this week.
Yep. A textbook sack.
Yep.
How are you supposed to tackle a quarterback in today's NFL? Let's keep it real.
I don't know, man.
Let's keep it real.
I'm being honest. I'm keeping it real. I don't know how you fucking tackle a quarterback anymore.
And the announcers agree with you, because I'm hearing it now on the broadcast. Yep. They don't even know what to say anymore.
Yep. They're like, this is horrible.
Imagine if Ben Roethlisberger was coming into the league in 2018 as a rookie quarterback. The kind of career he had a pretty good career already.
What kind of bullshit would that be?
You can't tackle the man as it is.
What kind of bullshit would that be? You would have a Ben Roethlisberger that gets fucking tapped. He keeps fucking the play alive, and he's throwing a touchdown. More than likely, because there's no reason why that shouldn't have been a sack in the first place, and there's no reason why the DB should have to cover after the fact.
Short and sweet, right?
That's it, man.
We're keeping it real, right?
That's the truth.
I keeps it real.
Let's just call it a sack. Sack. Let's get into this injury update, and then we're going to bring Chase on here. He's going to break down a little bit of what we saw today on the game.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll talk about the keys to beating Cleveland, I guess, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Raiders injury update. Donald Penn exited today's game with an apparent concussion.
Yes. He
was going through protocol during the game. Did not return, which tells me this looks pretty serious. And the hit itself, and you actually walked into the house today.
We pinpointed that. We saw that as it happened on the replay while you were watching it.
Yeah.
And I was like, right here is where I noticed that he kind of grabbed a knee after the sack, and he was kind of like, I thought he had hurt his leg.
Yeah.
I thought it was that Liz Frank. I was like, oh, great. But it wasn't. It was actually, he got shook up. He got full head-to-head contact. The defensive end did not try to get out of his way.
Mm-mm.
He went head first, right into Penn.
Right into the
and we have this new, right? We have this new call where head-to-head contact isn't allowed. Now, I'm confused, NFL. Are you only calling this for the, running backs, wide receivers, and quarterbacks? Or are you calling this overall? Because that is part of your rule.
Yeah.
You should have called that.
And the defender, I mean, let's just be fair. The defender caught it pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Both those guys got their bell rung.
Well, he was actually injured because of the way he came down on his leg.
The way he came down.
Yeah, he wasn't injured from the contact that he made with Penn. You
we
got to
know
figure. He was bracing himself. He knew what he was doing. He was going right into Penn's helmet. You would be prepared for that.
Right. Carl Joseph also he finally gets a shot.
Yeah.
Injures his leg.
Yeah.
Out. Gilchrist also exited today's game. Enter Eric Harris and more Reggie Nelson. Yeah. So it goes on and on. We had guys dropping like flies today. I also saw Fidel Brown. He kind of got tweaked a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Something on the neck there. It looked like the way he got pulled, but I don't think that's going to linger. I mean, that's just my guess. But that's your injury update post-game going into next week. Obviously, we don't have a show between now and then, so we can't keep you updated. But, just check your social media.
You want to come chat with us before we get on air at the tailgate, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, come on by. By the way, just an update because we won't be on the air before we're there. We will be in A-Lot. We're going to try to be A-Lot row 4 at the edge. If we're not on row 4, just look for us along the edge there of A-Lot towards the front. We'll be around, and we'll tweet it out. We'll put it on Instagram. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll make sure you guys know. We'll do a better job of that this game.
Oh, yeah.
Let you guys know pre-game as soon as we get in. Before we even set up anything, we'll let you know exactly where we're at. We'll send you the lot, which is going to be A, and the row number, and the position.
And we're in the suites, by the way, guys. We're in A-Lot, the suites section, okay? So we're barriered off from the rest of the A-Lot, man.
Because you're special.
We are a little special.
No, you're special. Don't put this on me. No, I mean, we plan to be in the suite area. We want to be on the edge of that section, though. So if we have to move back out of the suite area, we might.
We'll do that.
We'll do that. We'll tweet it out.
Yeah.
Just pay attention.
For sure.
So, is it time for Chase on Tape?
That's right.
All right, so let's take a really ultra short break. I know he's waiting right now. We're going to call Chase. We'll get him on the line, and then we'll wrap up this show.
Let's do it.
Cool?
Yep.
All right. All right, and we're back with Chase on Tape. Should I roll the projector, Che? Should I roll the projector?
Roll that projector, bro.
Chase, welcome back to the show, man. It's been a few weeks. We've been on the road. It's good to have you back. It's good to be back in studio. How you doing right now?
Hey, I'm doing okay. I'd be doing better after a win, but still happy to be back. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you've been grinding away. This is an early game, so you've had plenty of chance to watch some of the tape. I know the coach's film isn't out yet. You were not in the booth today. This was an away game.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about what you saw and what some of your takeaways were. I'm going to go ahead and just let you take the lead on this, Chase.
Yeah, well, so my biggest focus after the game, before the show here right now, I wanted to take a look at the offense and really try and figure out, a lot of the criticism going on. A lot of people are hating on Gruden, hating on Carr, hating on the way our offense is attacking other teams. So I wanted to take a look at the play calling and just see if anything really pops off as to things that maybe are too predictable or anything in that fashion. Because I know that that's a big topic throughout Raider Nation right now. So I went through, I charted all the offensive plays up until that final drive where the game was pretty much out of reach anyways. And, man, I got to tell you, it really seems like the offense is pretty balanced in terms of run to pass. And I don't know how you guys feel about it. I know many people who think Gruden's too predictable. We just want to run the ball down your throat, yada, yada, yada. I think I like the strategy we're using. We knew that we were going to come out. We were going to try and run the ball. We were going to use play action. And I think what's hurting the team is we're not getting the key third down conversions offensively late in the games.
Yeah.
What I really liked about today is on third down and 1 to 2 yards to go and second down and 1 to 2 yards to go, we actually threw the ball more than we ran the ball. On second and 1 to 2, we had 2 play action passes and we had 2 runs. And then on third and 1 and 2, we had 3 play action passes and 2 runs. That right there shows that we're mixing things up pretty well. We got a different look coming out for every defense so far this season that we're up against. And I think Gruden's doing a good job of game planning. The only area where the numbers were leaning heavily in one direction was on first down, where we really wanted to run the ball on first down. And we've been one of the best first down teams in the NFL this year. I think I saw during the game we were the 8th ranked first down team coming into the game. And we kept it up today. I think after watching the tape, the onus goes on the defense. What do you guys think?
I do too. We were saying that at the beginning of the show. I'm glad you pointed this out because what I'm getting sick and tired of is all these knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah.
People are very quick to blame John Gruden, but when you really look at this, you're right, Chase. We've game planned differently for every team. We've attacked the weaknesses, gone directly at their weaknesses, and we look well prepared. I mean, this team isn't really coming out here with a bunch of false starts and just looking like knuckleheads out there on the field. The game planning looks good. It looks tight. At least in the first half, the execution is crisp. It's just the defense in the second half. We're letting guys go through. We're playing soft.
Big plays, bro.
Big plays. Big run after catch. Missed tackles.
Yeah.
Just blown coverages. The shovel pass at the very end. 74 yards.
Yeah.
How are you going to blame Derek Carr's interception on that? Sure, that's an untimely interception, and I'm not taking the blame off of Carr.
No.
He doesn't throw that pick. We win that football game. We score a touchdown right there or a field goal. We ice this thing. We put it away. But first play back, you're going to give up a 74-yard shovel pass.
Yeah.
Not one guy can get a lick on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking to a guy right here, Chase, he's charting all the plays. He's looking at the tape. He's drilling down. The guy does this for a living.
Yep.
He's looking at it. He's telling you the truth. I mean, these are undisputed facts. John Gruden, he's doing a good job of game planning. He can't go out there and run the offense for you, and he definitely isn't going to go out there and play defense for you.
Nope.
So what's your takeaway on that, Che?
No, man, I have to agree. Listen, obviously, the turnovers are an issue. Right? We can't have turnovers in those situations. We can't have more turnovers than we have touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
But the defense has to show up in the fourth quarter, bro. The defense has to put together some stops. And that just hasn't happened in the second half. We haven't seen that. And we've made a bunch of excuses for them. We have altitude. We have heat. We have all these guys just got here this week. And the rookies are still getting schooled up. But the bottom line is you still have to show up to play.
Yeah.
And so whether or not those hindrances are affecting the way we can play in the fourth quarter, the fact is that the defense is not showing up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you said earlier, the plays can be the blame can be shared by both sides. It's not just one side or the other. But definitely, we need to see some more effort out of defense in the second half, bro.
That stat: 37 points to 3 points in the fourth quarter.
That's it, man.
A, execution, and B, they're still giving up 37 points in 3 games in the fourth quarter. That's a problem right there. You know, I'm pretty sure John Gruden is not game planning fourth quarter interceptions. Right. That's not in the game plan. So Chase, let's talk a little bit about the core of this team, the core offense, the core defense. I know you're looking at that too. Unless I'm moving too fast, if there's something else you wanted to cover on the game planning.
Well, there was just one more thing I wanted to touch on offensively. One thing I noticed this week, and I really want to go back now and look at the other games to see just how much of this was sprinkled in previous weeks. We had some RPO action coming today. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the quick passes we got off to the sidelines were coming off of those RPOs where Carr could have handed it off, but we had a good numbers advantage out to the perimeter. And a lot of these receiver screens that we're seeing now are coming off of RPOs. I think that's really interesting, and that's something that we all should keep our eyes on and see how much more success we could have out of that.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of self-scouting for John Gruden there because he's come out and said he doesn't really like the RPO. But you know what? If it works and it's going to throw your opponent off, he's not too proud to put it in there.
Well, if you just said that you don't like it and then you come out with it, is your opponent expecting it?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Evil genius.
Evil genius.
All right, Chase, let's move forward. Let's move down your agenda here and let's talk about what's up next here.
Yeah, so one thing I was reflecting on after the game, this word rebuild keeps getting thrown around. And, I'm not sure how fully on board I am with this idea that we're in the middle of a full-blown rebuild. Mm-hmm. I think we are in the middle of a shift. There's certainly a shift. Gruden's going to bring in the guys he wants, the people who will fit his system. We saw that when we shipped out Crabtree, Cut Crabtree, got rid of, 52, of course. I don't even want to talk about that. But, when you look at the roster, it is a little concerning because it does feel like we are lacking in terms of a true core to this team. I mean, let's look at the offense, for example. Who are the core offensive players for this team that'll be with us moving forward? Start at the offensive line, and obviously you have Assembly and Hudson. And, but these guys are getting up there in age. I don't know how many more years they have left, being the top of their position in the league. You got Penn, who's on his way out. So the only true core young player along this offensive line moving forward for the long haul of this team is Colton Miller. And we could hope Brandon Parker will come along. Feliciano's a good backup guy who could fill in at other positions. But along the offensive line, it's really just Colton Miller right now who's a part of that core. Look at the receiver position. Coop, is there anyone else? I mean, we hope, that we have some young talent and, Aitman and stuff like that. Obviously, we got rid of the young guy that Che liked. So at receiver, we just got Cooper. I don't think Martavis Bryant's going to be a Raider for 5 to 7 years down the road. And, we don't even know if Cooper's going to be back after his 5th-year option season.
True.
Look at running back. I like Richard. Richard could be a part of this core, but he's really just, a third-down pass-catching guy.
Yeah.
And, that's about it at running back. So, I mean, how many core players do we have on offense right there? That's Colton Miller, Amari Cooper, and Jalen Richard, and then obviously you have Derek Carr. There's 4 true core players to this offense. And then flip it over and look at the defense. Most of the core players on our defense are coming from our, last draft under Gruden. You have the defensive linemen with Arden Key. You got Marcel Hurst,
Maurice.
You got Maurice Hurst,
yep.
PJ Hall. Obviously, we have high hopes for these guys, but we haven't even seen enough tape to know truly what their, maximum potential could be. Mm-hmm. We like Justin Ellis. Is he going to be here for a long time? I don't know. How long was his contract? Do you guys remember what his new contract was?
I have no idea. I want to say it's 3 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right. At corner, you have Conley. Obviously, Melvin's just under the 1-year deal, so who knows if we'll even be able to bring him back after this season. I mean, who are the core players of our defense? Am I forgetting anybody?
Just Conley.
Can you guys think of anyone?
Conley's the only guy I can think of. Yeah,
Conley in the line. Yeah. Conley in the line.
Pretty much it.
You got Lee, I guess. But
Yeah, Markel Lee, he looks like he could be a good player down the road, but he still has a lot of, growth to go to mature through. So, I mean, I don't want to believe we're in the middle of a rebuild. But then you look at the roster and it's like, man, we don't have a very big core of young talent to move forward with.
It's true.
So it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting thing we gotta think about moving forward, and maybe that's why we got stockpiling these draft picks, these early draft picks, get some impact young players on this team.
Ricky Mendoza in the YouTube chat just said, we got Chris Warren. He's good.
Chris Warren's a practice squad.
Let's pump the brakes on Chris Warren. Go back a couple episodes. Get my thoughts on Chris Warren.
I hope he does develop, though.
I hope so.
Let's just say that. We hope that Chris Warren is as good as he was in preseason.
I haven't really taken the time to stop and think about this, and you're shedding light on this, Chase. This is kind of a wake-up call right here for Raider Nation.
It's true.
You had Carr on one side. You had Mack on the other side. Mack obviously exits. You still got Carr, but you're looking at the offensive line. I think Hudson's going to be good for a while. I think he's going to play well into his late years. He's not young now. Gabe Jackson, people are sort of wishy-washy on Gabe. I think he does well, but when you don't have a right tackle holding up, you're doing double work over there as a guard.
Yeah.
It gets tough. And we're in max protect quite a bit now, trying to help Donald Penn out. And who knows when he comes back. We got over there now, Clemmings. Is he the guy that we picked up from Washington? He's one of the late tackles we picked up there at the very end after we shipped off Sharp. That's an uneasy feeling, to say the least. And then knowing that Cooper has Siegel as his agent, who knows what becomes of him.
Right.
If he continues to be up and down this season, it's not going to be a Mac type situation, but it could still be a situation.
It's true.
We do know that the Raiders organization is not going to overpay players. They're going to pay what they feel that they deserve and not above that.
Yeah.
Just to be able to keep them. It's not a rebuild just yet. It is a shift. I've been using the term remodel. But if you think that this is a rebuild now, consider the fact that next year, 27 players on this roster, their contracts are up.
Yeah.
If you think it's a rebuild now, wait until 2019 when 27 contracts become due. And you tell me what this team looks like in June or July of next year.
It's true.
It's going to be a big difference.
Yeah.
That could be a good thing.
It could be.
That could be a bad thing.
Could be. We got to look at who's going to be free agent.
Yeah. We got free agent. We got money for days, right? You got the Mac money back. You got the salary cap jumping. You got 2 first-round draft picks next year. It could be great. But it all comes back around to where we started at the beginning of the show with talent evaluation. Because, let's face it, you can knock John Gruden for his talent evaluation, but the same people are also knocking Reggie McKenzie. So who's in the building right now that's going to bring in these brand new, fresh faces that's going to be the brand new core of an Oakland Raiders team or whatever Raiders team moving forward? Because let's face it, the Coliseum right now isn't even a core in this football organization. That's also up in the air.
Yeah.
It's a very slippery time
in
the silver and black. What were your takeaways, Chase, from this game? I mean, not like specific takeaways, but we're 0-3 now. Do you feel like this team is more talented than their record shows, or are we sitting right where we deserve to be?
Oh, I mean, it's a mix of both. I mean, with our fourth quarter play, there's no way we deserve any better than 0-3. But at the same time, you can't discount how well we've started off games. I mean, I read somewhere earlier that the Raiders haven't haven't trailed for a single snap through the third quarter of any game this year. I mean, that's remarkable. And then to be 0-3 after that is even more remarkable, actually.
Yeah.
And it just shows what's going on in the fourth quarter. And, I think teams are figuring out how to play our defense late in the game. I think we're seeing teams sort of, hold up and save some special plays for when they know we're going to be winded. And, obviously we don't have a lot of depth at some areas on defense. And I think teams are just knowing how to take advantage of that right now. We gotta be able to go into the fourth quarter with a good, secure lead. We've got to be able to generate a pass rush. And we just got to start winning the turnover battle. Derek Carr does have to do a better job protecting the football.
So let's build on that, what you just said now, because it's time to leave Miami in the dust. It's time to leave week 3 behind. We're moving into week 4. There's been a lot of talk about this Cleveland Browns team, and it started with the draft, the Baker Mayfield splash. It rolls into Hard Knocks. They're on HBO. Then the season starts. You can't get a win. They tie their first game. They get a heartbreaking loss against New Orleans in week 2, and they finally get a win week 3, Thursday Night Football. Enter Baker Mayfield. Dramatic comeback in that game to put it away. And now they got a head of steam rolling into Oakland next week. A home game. We return back to the Bay. Hopefully Raider Nation shows up rowdy and ready to take over this game.
Yep.
Can't get down in the dumps.
Yep.
You got to do your part. What are your keys to beating Cleveland next week, Chase?
Well, I think it's going to come down to winning the turnover battle. I think that's just the most important stat for this upcoming game. I think it's going to also come down to how we play against Mayfield. I would like to see our defense just attack the hell out of Mayfield and make him try and win under pressure. We'll see if that's the route we take. We could obviously just sit back and maybe try and confuse him with some coverages, and hopefully he'll make some mistakes that way. But I think it comes down to how we handle Mayfield in his first start. If we could protect Carr, and if we could, hold on to that football and stop throwing interceptions at key moments.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that. Protect the ball. Cleveland right now ranked first in the league in terms of turnovers. They got a +3 turnover ratio. That's obviously helping them out. We can say what we want about the QB position, but that defense is the real deal. Greg Williams has done a hell of a job over there. Yep. If you've watched any of the Hard Knocks episodes, you know Greg Williams is a character of characters. I mean, that guy's got a mouth on him. We should get him on the show. Stopping the run game is something that I had in here prior to the Mayfield debut. Because Cleveland was ranked number 1 in rushing attempts at 32.7 a game. That's a lot of running the football. I think, all out blitzing Mayfield might be a slippery slope only because the kid has wheels. If you're going to do so, make sure you contain the edge on him.
Bruce Irvin, shout out, call out. The thing that was apparent in Thursday night's game is they obviously did not game plan for Baker Mayfield. You can say he has a similar skill set to Tyrod Taylor, but they are very different quarterbacks.
It's true.
Just because they're mobile does not make them the same guy.
Yeah.
Baker can make a whole different range of passes than Tyrod Taylor can, and we've seen Tyrod be hesitant. Baker Mayfield went in there with a killer instinct and was just straight gunning.
Yep.
Now, that can happen when a guy comes off the bench. We'll see what card Hugh pulls. There's some people that think that Hugh's going to go back to Taylor. I think that'd be a big mistake.
Yeah.
Mayfield.
He might get fired during the game if he does.
He might. He just might. But we've seen Mayfield. He's got that killer instinct. But now, if he's the starter going into this game, maybe he tightens up a little bit. Who knows? But yeah. Paul Gunther, I think I'm glad, Chase. I'm really glad you got on the show because I thought I was crazy being the only guy out here blaming the defense, and me, a guy that was championing for Paul Gunther all offseason. Very exciting. I had a chance to meet him. I love the double-A gap blitz. I love his scheme. I like the way he mixes up coverages, the way he disguises pressure. I think it's cool. He's a trickster. I like that kind of a defense.
Yeah.
But, aside from the Denver game, I thought the defense played well all Denver game until that very last drive. And I will say they were gassed. I mean,
yeah, they were
look
gassed.
at the tape.
They were gassed.
We said a lot about excuses, but the fact is they were gassed at the end of that game. Not having no timeouts hurt us. But I thought that was the most complete game for the Raider defense. They stopped the rush today, but you let Tannehill beat you, and wide receivers are running open all day.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. This defense it's got to show up next week. What do you think?
Full
Trey?
game, 4 quarters, man.
4 quarters.
We need 4 quarters of our defense, and we need 4 quarters of our offense, man. Like we said, it's a shared blame, but let's not be ignorant. Let's not
be half-assed in our criticisms. You know what I mean? If we're going to be critical on the offense, we got to be critical of the defense too.
Yeah.
Because the bottom line is this. We've been making excuses. We've been saying, oh, no, the offense needs to score more points. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But you know what? There's been quite a few teams that get it done with scoring 20 or less points.
Yeah.
And that's because they have great defenses. And I don't know about you, Raider Nation. I want to have a great defense too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, oh, well, yeah, our defense is, does all right. But then it fails in the fourth quarter. But it's all right because we got an offense that could put up 35, 40 points.
Hey, the silver and black have a long legacy of having a defense that's going to smack you in the mouth and an
There you go.
offense that's just going to find a way to win.
There you go. There you go. And maybe we need a little bit more of that.
But you know what's been common in all of those teams? They get it done when?
At the end of the game.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, at the end of the game. And that's it, man. You know what? The defense was shut down on the run. And that was after a lot of criticism because we gave up, a lot of rushing yards in the second half of the first two games. Second half. The first half, we were pretty locked down too. So there was a lot of criticism, a lot of people talking about how Drake and the other running back were just going to run all over us. That was not the case. Oh, no. Gore. Sorry.
Yeah.
The other back.
Your boy.
Your boy Gore. Listen, 41 rushing yards. We were stout up front. We were stout up front. But Tannehill ran off a couple first downs. We can't have that.
No.
You got to hold that edge.
Yeah.
Bruce Irvin. You got to hold that edge. Okay? And then we've already talked about Reggie Nelson. Come on.
Yeah.
We can't have big pass plays. We can't have, like you said, a shovel pass going for 70 plus odd yards. Come on now.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But what I'm looking forward to is getting back into the parking lot, going back into A lot, reconnecting with you Raider fans.
You're damn right.
And hopefully, Chase, we get to meet you in person this
weekend. Gotta come through, Chase.
Yeah, man, I'm coming early this weekend. I'll be there. I will for sure be there this weekend.
Hell yeah.
So, Pillagers, if you're in town, I know a lot of you coming out to this Cleveland game. I feel like a lot of people selected this game because they're like, I want to go see the Raiders win. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it is.
And a couple weeks ago, Kane was like, you know what? I want the Browns to be good. I want to play teams when they're good. And that's exactly what we got.
That's what we got. It's true.
So, Chase, man, I will text you next week and let you know exactly where we're sitting. Any time that you plan on showing up, but do you have a target in mind?
Man, I know you said you get there around, 8, something like that?
Yeah. We'll be waiting in line at about 6:45.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'll try and get there around maybe 9 o'clock-ish or something like that.
Sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
And wear your lucky socks, man. We need everything we can.
Wear your lucky everything. Wear your lucky draws. Wear your lucky socks. Lucky Charms.
And by the way, make sure you guys check out Chase on YouTube. Chase, what's your YouTube page?
Just look up Chase B. The videos are called Chase on Tape. The Chase on Tape video comes out late in the week, where I'll take an in-depth look at something that jumped off the All-22 tape. Last week, I took a closer look at Amari Cooper's route running against the Broncos. Or you could look up Unsung Heroes. Early in the week, I try and get out an Unsung Heroes video where just take a quick look at three impact players that maybe a lot of people didn't notice watching just the game on TV, and then 3 less than stellar performances on the back end as well. So just look up Unsung Heroes or Chase on Tape on YouTube, and it should pop up.
And make sure you follow him at Raiders Unsung on Twitter.
Yep.
He will post out those clips on Twitter. If you're more of a Twitter guy, you can get those there too. Your Amari Cooper video last week, really good. Really good stuff.
Yep.
Keep up the good work, Chase. We enjoy talking to you. Not every week, but every week we're in studio.
Well, we enjoy talking to you every week that you're on, bro.
There we go. Thank you.
Hey, right on, man. I love coming on, and I look forward to finally meeting you guys next weekend.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Come on through. Maybe we can sneak you a pre-game cerveza.
And you can have some chelas with Che.
There you go, man. You have a good one, man, and all best to you, and hope for a better outcome next week, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a great week.
You too, brother.
That was Chase.
Yeah, it was.
Let's do our shout-outs, man, and let's get the hell out of here.
Woo! Shout-outs!
It's almost 11 o'clock here on the West Coast.
It is almost 11 o'clock.
So shout-out, man.
Time flies, right?
Time flies when you're having fun. Pillaging just for fun. Shout-out to Cali Raider 83's Sar Kingdom, Raider for Life 17, King Caston K, Phone Hands, Cali Raider, John Marks Media Company, Dodgers Raiders 6, Tick 916, Dre the Great X, Sport Talk 24/7, Just a Flower 12, Pre Ben Grief, Wilds DEKGGV, Footballers, Jordan Kelsey, Ace Fan Radio, Racked Up Rachel, Zach 1571, Chicken JGS, Mikey V, Mr. Right, 21 David 52, Wiener Dog 44, M Joseph Moore, Mikey AZ 85, Real Super Sean, Rod Rodriguez 2635, Mario Cancio, Adalberto, Lost Soul 1312, Deja Wood, Dobbins Niles, Dat Bad Raiderette, Eastside 702 board, David Dunn UK is what it is, Raiderman 47. Shout out to Raiders Respect, 702 Raider Nation, Raiders Sloan, Emilio, Manuel Gardenia, George Essen, USA, Bo,
you got it.
Octavioso. Shout out to Bo Simpson, Rog 2 a.m. Shout out to DJ Extraordinaire and Raider Skunk.
Yeah.
The story about the skunk showing up in the tunnel on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Well, and then he showed up on our timeline.
Yeah, he's on our timeline. Raider Skunk on Twitter. Make sure you follow him. Pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, man.
It's your turn, brother.
All right, man. Here we go. I'm gonna try to do better than I did the week before.
Yeah, let's go, Mayweather. Che Weather over here.
All right. Shout out Lottie CC9B1. Shout out Josue Areola JA. Shout out Fish MJ68. Raider Barajas, not Raiders, Raider Barajas. Shout out Blackhearted 979. Shout out BK Pops 12. Shout out to our homie Liz Morales Photography.
Oh yeah,
bro. Yeah,
it's a big homie.
Yeah, that's our homie. Shout out BH Aztec Raiders. Shout out Raider Babes. Ooh. Shout out Quailman 87. Shout out Raiders Faithful. And shout out McBurney Jr. Glenn. We got 85 Fide Class. And last, not last. We got two more. Nature's Finest Brand and Young Trap 22.
Did we follow back Raider Babes? Because we should probably get on top of that.
Oh, wait. We got one more. Raiderette 559. Shout out to you too.
All right. Shout out to all of our Raiderettes. And special shout out to John Kingdon for coming on tonight's show. Always a fantastic conversation with Mr. Kingdon. Make sure you pick up the book or audiobook, Al Davis Behind the Raider Shield, if you haven't already. The book was narrated by fellow pillager Scott Odell.
That's right.
So check that out. Man, it was a good show.
Great show.
It was a long show.
It was a long show, but a needed show.
It was very much needed. Hang in there, Raider Nation. 0-3. It's still not over yet. I know we said that all last season.
It ain't over till it's over.
But still plenty to be excited for. Lots of football yet to come this season, and we're very close. Reason to be hopeful. But that's it for this week's show. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. Download the official Pillaging app available for iOS and Android. Stay tuned next week as we will still be giving away copies of Michael Lombardi's new book, Gridiron Genius. We'll also have we have an unnamed guest as of right now for next week. But stay tuned. It'll be a good show regardless. We'll be on location again in the A-Lot. Check in with our social media. We'll post that as soon as we get set up. Keep the wind in your sails and rum in your mug and pillage on Raider Nation. This has been a production of the Raiders Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined as always
by your boy Che.
And we out here.
Peace.
Go Raiders.
Just win, baby.